So the shop's not making money, but all the benefits are being paid.
Okay, okay. So it's a bit of a kind of strange business plan. What do you think of this?
Yeah, no, that's probably the case. Yeah, but I mean, they've on CCTV they've looked at the footfall in these places and discovered bears no relation to the income that they're claiming. They're money laundering operations for crime networks.
Yeah, but the problem is.
Okay. Oh, wait 1 second, Nikki. We've got the new person joining us. Tell us your name.
My name's Mikey, or you can call me Mickey.
Mickey, Mickey, Ricky, and Nikki.
Yeah.
You can come up with your own names as well, just to
Yeah.
go with the flow.
No, I feel like that is the case with my barbers because I go to barbers on Hackney Road,
So it's a bit more
and there's like about 20 barbers on Hackney Road, and Hackney Road is like one of the. It's in Shoreditch where there's a lot of demand for shops, and I've been going there for like 20 years. I couldn't understand how someone that has like one or two customers come in every couple of hours could be paying the rent on the shop like this. But then I realised that's what's going on, that it's a way to channel money in, because the way it works is that the barber pays less rent, but the actual business that's supposedly owning the shop is saying, I've got a cash business and I've got all this cash coming through.
Okay, so it's.
So what you're saying is that their drug money is being funded through, the cash is being thrown through the business. Right, okay, then I've got another question then. Let's go to the root, yeah? So if they're getting this money off the drugs, who's taking the drugs? Yeah? Who's giving them the money?
Okay.
Yeah? The other thing is, yeah, the government said, yeah, if someone walks into Sainsbury's and takes the meat, leave them alone. Because when they go to court, yeah, they're not going to get anything. So the first thing you do is the time has got to be worth more than the crime.
Okay. All right. I've got a button for that. Nikki, we are looking forward to seeing you back, but there's a lot of controversy. We're talking about drugs, we're talking about who is taking them, we're talking about shops, and also this kind of is it, yeah, sure. Do we all need to sign in, Ricky? No, but people joining. Perfect. Oh, I wish I knew. I would get Nikki to join in. We'll get him next time. And what else? So you're talking about barber shops, talking about shops in busy locations. So is it always kind of mini marts?
Souvenir shops as well, because they're not selling all those souvenirs.
Are there any souvenir shops around this area? I mean, what is Tower Hamlets famous for? You were talking about more Hackney Way, right? You go to your barber shop. But is this something that businesses need to do? Is this just a way to survive, or is it like pure crime? Shouldn't be doing that. Is it fraud? Like, what is it?
Well, I don't think my barber's like selling drugs or anything like that. I think it's just like he's benefiting from the low rent because he's got a cash business. And I'm benefiting from a cheaper haircut because otherwise I'd never be able to afford to have a haircut.
Can you explain cash business? I thought everything.
Well, it's where money comes in cash, notes, not in
So
like.
it's not illegal.
It's not illegal what he's doing it, but the issue is like, if you're getting a lot of cash come through, how do you actually put that cash in the bank? Hello, come join us.
I think she's from the barber shop.
Yeah.
Just check
We
how
can
they
ask.
operate.
Yeah. Well, let's not. I don't want to sort of ruffle too many feathers. You know what I mean? We don't want to be involved in a.
I wonder what the prices are, because I think the point I'm trying to make is, okay, some of this sounds a bit dodgy, and drug dealing and human trafficking is definitely dodgy. There's no excuse for that. But I also wonder about this, where is the line of being just street savvy, like business savvy, and just like using all the opportunities the law gives you to stay afloat in a moment like this, where everything's quite expensive. I mean, how do
I'm sorry.
go on,
But country cannot be planted each police in policeman in each place. It's a crisis, and they say I go in a section, and they tell me we cannot help you with your case. You shall be to report to bush shop, to direct to bush shop, because I go to bush shop and they sell me, but I sell a big issue, and I don't make more money, and he cheated me to money. He stolen on 1 pound on a shop in far by here, another part of
Yeah,
we are in
yeah, yeah.
Greenwich, and when I go to police station and I know making petition
Yeah.
and functionary. I am born celebratory result to shop. When I ask what is your role, I go to Bental Green police section.
So
I'm
you're
sorry,
reporting.
shall be to report direct to. I'm sorry, I want to put petition to commander of the section because functionary from office is born. Now we cannot do nothing.
Okay, so maybe police can't actually act on somebody stealing stuff from the shop. Meanwhile, we've got a new face around the table. Of course, I'll introduce you to the table. We've got Justin, we've got Julian, we've got Mikey. My name is Margot. What's your name?
Hello, Margot. My name is Jay.
Jay. Welcome, Jay. So you just stumbled upon Talkaoke. Have you been on Talkaoke before?
I think I encountered this in the streets once.
Okay, okay. So maybe, but I will tell you how this works. So Julian, are you having a walk at the moment? Just stretching your legs? Okay.
People, I make scandal because first time but I'm not happy to see immigrants and I'm paid with £50 per day in modern slavery in job center.
Ah, modern slavery and job centering.
Yes, job
Okay.
center. Universal credit is involved in dirty business.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you, Julian. Well, we're here till 2 o'clock. We've got Jay here with us. So, Jay, the way Talkaoke works, you may or may not remember this or know this at all, is we don't really have a subject. It's just whatever people come up with. And so far, we've been talking about Oxford Street candy stores, American candy stores being shop fronts for some dodgy business, human trafficking. Why are authorities not? Come on in. I'm just doing a summary. This is a perfect time to arrive. Give us your name.
My name is Rim.
Rim.
Yes, Rim.
Rim. Nice to meet you, Rim. I'm Margaret. This is Jay. This is Justin. It's Julian over there, and it's Mikey. And this is Aberfeldy Big Local. We've got Layla over there, and some people over there doing crafts. Well, Ricky, of course. We had Nikki. So this is Talkaoke. This is our talk show. I was just summarizing the subjects that come up this morning, and we don't dictate the subjects. We just see what people want to talk about. So far we talked about candy stores in Oxford Street being shop fronts for human trafficking and drug dealing and stuff. Somebody said actually it's not just that. There are shops, barber shops and other shops in Hackney you were talking about. In Hackney Road, then maybe it's, they are using some kind of legislation to have cheap rent. Yes, Ricky? I'm okay with picture. Back okay? Are people just trying to survive? Are people just hustling because everything's expensive, so you just use whatever means you can to pay cheaper rent? Then we were talking about, is police actually doing anything? Does it pay off to actually steal some food from a shop? It's better than, apparently the court won't do anything if you're caught taking food from the shop. So we just kind of still haven't settled on a subject.
But I just want to link it to, because you mentioned Keir Starmer, but Keir Starmer says that he wants to have more economic growth in the country, more business going on. But obviously, a lot of the businesses we're talking about are a little bit dodgy. But my question is, isn't that? I've got a feeling that even like people like Alan Sugar, who started off as a market trader in Ridley Road in Hackney, all started off with a little bit, maybe not human trafficking and drug dealing, but a little bit, like a bit of a Del Boy kind of character to begin with. Do you know what I mean?
So is it true to start a business you have to have that kind of mindset, maybe start something a little bit dodgy, maybe not quite seriously dodgy, but a bit, just being clever? I don't know. What do you think?
So, based on everything you just said, and you as well, I think I personally could not judge anyone that was doing anything unless it was hurting someone. But I personally think there's many ways where you can make money without harming anyone and trying to help the community and build a community with positive things instead of just kind of going for the wrong things. But at the same time, as I mentioned previously, I do not judge anyone that sometimes have to do stuff to survive.
Okay. Okay. So it's So it's more about let people do their thing, don't judge them, because we don't actually know the story behind it. But also, you're talking about doing business or doing something that actually helps the community as well.
You don't really need to harm other people to make sure you make money or you survive. So as long as, for example, you see a lot of people that they might go rob to make money, or they might involve themselves in gangs just to make money. And when you think about it, you could just go and try to sell, I don't know, like a pack of cigarettes illegally. You're not hurting anyone.
Okay. So there are different kind of levels as well. But everybody's, in a way, maybe, do people have choice of how they decide to do this? Yeah, people have choice. Yeah, Mikey, and I'll come to you.
But I do think there is a lot of pressure on young people to make money quickly, and that.
One of the shows was outside, and I remember we spoke about family in relationships and marriages, how it affects. And then we had another conversation. It was at the park down there. Sorry. And I remember we was talking about nostalgia, and we was talking about how everything brings us back to the past. So I feel like every time I'm coming to this table and having a conversation with you guys, especially you and him, because there's always random people around, I always end up like leaving with some sort of like thinking in my head, like, oh wow. So I think this is really cool. I'm very happy that you guys are doing this. It really helps the community, which comes back to what I was saying earlier.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and thank you for being such a support. And also remember what we talked about, because we did quite a lot of these. It's quite hard sometimes to remember. But we are here to kind of generate ideas, generate thoughts. Justin promised you the microphone, so grab the mic. Thank you for this.
So, Reem, just to follow up on something you said, Reem, you said that if you buy some contraband cigarettes, you're not harming anyone. I'm not sure that I entirely agree with that, because you don't know what's happened way back in the supply chain of illicit drugs and stuff. There's South America, people get killed, you know. So by being part of that process, you're collaborating or contributing or being part of that system. You don't know what's happened way back in the supply chain.
Okay, so are we always aware of the supply chain? And whose responsibility? Hello and welcome. Come on in. And whose responsibility is it to kind of check everything's okay? Are we just too paralyzed then to act? But you sat down, and we were talking about, is there too much pressure on young people as well to make money quick? That was the conversation before. What brought you back to the table?
Just listening to it made me think, you know what, let me join, see what's going on, because obviously I'm sitting with my children and obviously more focused on them, but they're getting on with it now, so I thought let me participate.
But this is really interesting, because you were saying about we're talking about businesses, we were talking about how about we just stop judging people, just let people do their thing. Also, there are different levels of damage with the activities that you do, and people even like Alan Sugar, who's now a millionaire, he started with being a bit dodgy, maybe not very dodgy, but he wasn't doing maybe everything according to letter of law, and maybe that's okay. And then we were talking about, okay, well, sometimes there's no time, and particularly for young people, to do things legally, contribute to community, because it's actually about making money quick. That's the pressure. And then, Jay, you've not said anything. Does any of this kind of ring any bells for you, remind you of something, or you want to say something? You've got any thoughts, reflections, opinions, none of the above, a completely new subject? We're open to that.
It's fascinating. I'm just delighted to be here, and wow, my voice is on a mic. Amazing.
This sounds great. This sounds good.
So, yeah, I think, look, I mean, everything everyone says is so legitimate, especially when young people are given an example of needing to make money quick. Actually, when we look at Alan Michael Sugar, when he first started out, he was young and he wanted to make money quick. He wanted to be successful. And why? Why do we all chase success? Why do we want money? What does it mean? And it goes back to what this lady was saying about, is there means to make money ethically in a way that builds community? And again, why? Why do we want to build community? Wow, my voice here is so amazing.
No, your voice sounds great, and also you're throwing up a lot of questions. Why are we focused on success? What is success? And yeah, Alan Sugar, you were talking about nostalgia. You know, he was a young lad once. He wanted exactly what young people today wanted. I'm going to give you the mic, Reem.
I think success is measured in different levels for everyone. So, for example, success for me could be to have a house and a farm and just wake up on a Sunday and see the sun and make my own coffee from milk from my cow. And for someone else, success is just to have a family and have 7 kids, even if they might not have be able to feed them, but that's their success for them to build their family. So I feel like maybe nowadays society forces us to think that success might be materialistic, but every person has their own success. And going back to what you said earlier, I think I think you're right. Maybe selling cigarettes is not the best example, but what I meant is like maybe doing something illegal to a level where you're not actually harming physically or mentally, or which you kind of do. But maybe let's say selling clinics. Let's leave it there.
Like a low impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, Julian. Thank you. That's a great point. What
I'm
is
sorry,
success?
I live in a house with two Muslim who are from Afghanistan and tell me we are fundamentalist Islamic and we're coming to introduce Islam in London. And sure, I reported you want to be Taliban in London. What do you think? And I have a tough dialogue and I come with one, but we have a savage comportment because I'm sorry you live in cage because you not know how to make clean in a house. You probably in your house making clean your mother. You are out of a problem and I asked me what he want to do. He want to be a butcher, but for to be a butcher request a lot of qualification. And
Okay, so you live
no, but he not try to learn nothing.
okay.
They are we live in Islamic revolution.
Okay.
And I'm sorry if they come late, they are executed.
Okay, okay. Are we living in time of religious revolution?
Their world, which shall be to be Islamic, by the request to help to grow Jesus company.
Okay, okay. So something about religion, something about your flatmates as well. So people want to kind of, I don't know, bring about change through religion, maybe something like this. I'll come to Mike and I'll come to you, Justin. But thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I mean, Aberfeldy Street, there's a lot of Muslims living on Aberfeldy Street. They're never. I've been more curious about, things like we just had. Well, it's not a Muslim festival. We just had the Bengali New Year happen on the weekend. Before that, we had Ramadan and Eid, which I'm more curious about.
Here as well in March.
Yeah, I'm more curious about, but I don't. I've never had any Muslims say, "Look, you must follow our laws." It's more my interest in it is more being driven from a personal.
Well, and I'll give you the mic, Justin. But it makes me think because we're talking about success and materialism, and I sometimes wonder: are people kind of obsessing a lot about materialism? Is that becoming like a new kind of religion in a way? That a lot of people are, they're just all about making money. But you're talking about what about this non-materialistic success, And I think maybe religion can open up doors to that. Maybe this is an extreme case, but in general, in good spirit, it can be taking you on that path. But anyway, Justin, promise you the mic.
I'm going back a little bit, and this may be off at a tangent.
Well, we like tangents here, so don't worry. We've got buttons.
Reem, just to pick up on something you said that your dream is to wake up on your own farm and drink the milk make coffee with milk from your own cow. Isn't it a little bit strange that human beings are drinking another animal's milk? We were never intended to drink cow's milk. I mean, no other animals don't drink our milk. Don't you find it a bit strange that we do that? It was not what.
Very literal territory on this side of the table. I don't want it to turn into why you're saying what you're saying. But that's another thing. Like, what kind of defines our even basic habits, what we eat. For example, how does that get decided? 1 second, Julian. I promise, Mikey. Then Mike.
Well, no, I think it just. I think wrapping all this together, it's about our values, isn't it? And it's like what we consider success, what we consider right and wrong. Like some religions consider actually drinking milk to be wrong because it's an animal product. But
can I
yeah.
just ask people around the table, how do we know a little bit about your definition of success? if you want to. But for those who haven't said about their vision of success, what is success for you? Is it materialistic? Is it specific? Is it a value-based thing? What is it? Justin, what is success to you?
The thing that makes me feel happiest is the fulfilling relationships.
Okay.
Loving my wife and seeing the joy of children in my class. I gave the children some presents for Easter, and the absolute joy of seeing them run to their mums, saying, "Mr. Justin gave me this. Mr. Justin gave me this." I was feeling warm and fuzzy for all the rest of the day. That was success for me.
Okay, that's fantastic, and it's not materialistic in a way. It's completely pure. Yeah, we're just going around the table, Julian. I'm just gonna grab your point of view. What is success for you, Layla?
I have 4 children, and success for me is my children. And something that I want them to achieve, that's something I couldn't do. So,
Do you have any ideas of what you may want to kind of suggest for them to explore?
to be honest, I'm very how do I say it? Like, I leave it on them. Like, but again, I will support them. Do you understand? Um, it's up to them how they like individually, like as an individual, that they think, oh, I can do this and I can do that. It's all depending on them. But me as a mom, I will support them to do it. Say, example, my daughter, she said she wants to be a lawyer. So again, I'm gonna get her all the things that she needs, all the support, maybe extra tuition or whatever. So therefore, like, me to support her to be success in that field. That's my aim at the moment, because I have 4 young children.
Okay.
So this is my success, and I hope I can achieve it.
But that's really also very brilliant.
Yeah.
But also what you're saying, like in order, for instance, to support your child to become a lawyer or kind of progress in education.
Yeah,
or
education.
yeah.
Everything is like, with me from young age, it's all about education. I always tell my kids, money is not really important. Honest truth. Like, if you have knowledge, you will have so much.
Yeah.
You know. So
That's quite wealth.
I keep on telling them, study. Get yourself into what you need to do, and then maybe get into a job. Because when I was young, my first job was when working in a supermarket, and I was only 15. So again, I've actually kind of commit to that job and use that as my career, because I enjoyed it, because I worked with my friends. So I thought, well, at that time I thought, I'm enjoying this, therefore I couldn't focus on my study because I'm enjoying that job. So I thought, what, I put every time what I did, I don't want my kids to go through that. So in case they are doing the same thing at what I did, so I would always tell them, no, you don't need that kind of job. I will support you however much I can.
Yeah.
And then, once you're like, what do you call it?
Like
Qualified,
yeah.
you can maybe get into a good field, and then, be success for yourself.
Okay,
You
so
know?
you gave us actually loads, and also you're saying something about. Thank you so much. You're also saying something about enjoying your job. Maybe you're saying that maybe you enjoyed the job in the supermarket a bit too much, but I quite like the fact that you can have fun at work. Welcome, new face to the table. Just give us your name very quickly.
My name is Mohammed.
Mohammed,
Hello.
welcome. We've got Mikey, we've got Reem, we've got Jay, we've got Lila, we've got Justin. I'm Margot, and this is Talkaoke. You may be familiar with this format. We at the moment talking about people's different definitions of success. We're talking about, are we just being is society being too obsessive about money? Is it too much pressure on young people to make money and stay on the surface? But actually, is success in non-material things? Like for you, it's the relationships. It's seeing children at school that you teach grow. For you, is to bring up your children and make them fulfill their dreams and have fun at work, maybe a bit. For you, it's waking up in your cottage and having a coffee with milk.
That could be success for someone, as same as
Yeah.
maybe could be something else. What I was trying to say is not that my success means that. I was just saying in general that a lot of people may think that the definition of success is loads of money and being famous and having big cars and big houses. But I was saying that maybe that's not the definition of success in general.
Okay,
It's
just
very
cover
objective.
all areas. Okay, so this is where we're at. But I'm going kind of in some form of an order. I have seen your hand, but I'm going to go to Jay. Jay, what is success to you? How do you kind of make sense of that?
Wow, I love this mic. I love talking to this mic.
The mic loves you, so
Well, it's a very interesting question. And I think it's not to become successful in so much that we are already successful. And what I mean by that is that, let's say, as an example, the Big Bang, all of 50 billion years ago. Yeah, that's so cool. And as a result of that Big Bang and all of that evolution and process and creation, here we are. On that basis, we are successful. That we exist at all. That's how I would define success.
Isn't that amazing? Because we're talking about becoming successful, but you're talking, no, you are successful already. That's what's happening. I think it's a great point. And yeah, go on.
I study 1 year and I take out only one exam to business university.
Yeah.
And my doctor and there are not capable for to make business, but there are theoretician, no practitioner, not only people can be Elon Musk, by example, to make business by structures. They are theoretician, no practitioner.
So you need to be
No, no,
practicing.
there are doctors in economy, but they not to do business by speak about business.
Okay, so can you really be a true businessman? Can you teach people success? Or you talking about business skills, but maybe other skills without having to go through it yourself, just putting yourself on the line, selling cigarettes to start with, and progressing to Oxford Street sweet shops. You had to be there at the beginning to understand this reference. But thank you, Lynn. I'm going to carry on moving, but this is a really good point. Big Bang kind of marks the success era for humanity. Let's just get on board with that. You want to say something about your success, Ring?
Yeah, I think for me personally, and this is a bit personal, I think success for me would be, so I'm a religious person, spiritual religious person, and due to how society is made, I find myself doing things that may be like sins. So I think the perfect success for me would be to have the perfect balance between my lifestyle and my religion, and being able to possibly like pray and give my kids a little bit more of knowledge, because growing up for religion it was a bit like you have to listen and don't ask questions, and that's probably why it hit a point in my life where I was kind of separed from my religion, not so bad, but more like a bit distant from my religion. So I think success for me would be to be able to balance religion and life, and being able to teach my kids with answers, not just don't ask.
Okay, so it's more of a two-way conversation rather than I'm going to tell you how it is. And also finding the balance. I mean, just out of curiosity, what would be like, let's say, imagine that kind of balanced life. What would like a normal day look like where you've got time for everything that you want to make time for?
I think I'd probably wake up at 5 a.m., pray, go to gym, which I don't do. None of them. I mean, sometimes I do pray, but I don't go to gym. And then probably like go around with my day and like do the 5 pray. I'm Muslim, by the way. Do the 5 prayers and be able to read and understand more about the religion itself, because it has a lot of like scientific facts. It has a lot of like the Big Bang that you was talking about. It explains that like, and explains a lot of things. So I would love to be able to just read about it and
Just study it, get
study,
deeper into it.
yeah, but do it with will and wanting to do it, because sometimes you feel forced and kind of like, oh, because I cannot ask questions I don't even want to know. So I would like to go past that.
Okay, that's really interesting to actually make time to explore rather than maybe feel stuck with it. But I also like the 5 a.m. wake up and the gym. I mean, when you achieve that, let me know. I'll be there just applauding you from around the corner. Thank you, Reem. Mikey, what's success to you? I am moving in a circle, so I hope
Yeah.
everybody's okay with that. Justin, are you okay with that? You're not going to implode?
What I think is interesting is the kind of spiritual element. I mean, from Jay, even though he's talking about a materialistic Big Bang, it's in a very spiritual way. It's like we've come all this way and we've come so many billion years. So I think that everyone has answered the question in my mind a very spiritual way, even if they're not necessarily formally religious. And I think that's the thing. Probably success has got that spiritual element to it. And for me, I wanted to say, for me, it's this moment now is a successful moment. And just enjoying listening to people around the table, for me, is success in itself.
So maybe it's a little bit kind of resonating also with what you said. The success is here already. Whether you can acknowledge it, that's another thing. But you don't have to become successful. Just imagine that you are. You are. Yeah.
It's the moment, this moment now.
This
It's a
moment
successful moment for me.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Mikey. That was very, very nice. We're just moving along. Success. Any
I'm
views
just
on
taking it
success?
all in
Yeah.
at the minute, so please,
Yeah, shall I go
come
to-
back to me, please.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Oh yeah, Layla. Sorry. And I'll come to you, Justin.
My religion is Islam, and from young age, I believe in that religion, and because I have 4 children, I strongly giving them that education so they know exactly how it is. How I learned Arabic and our Quran is I read it, but I did not understand it at all. So obviously, my parents come from Bangladesh, and their background, what they knew, they've taught us. So I don't blame them. Obviously, I mean, I know how to read it, but I do not understand it. But now I try to understand the meaning of the Quran, and you know what? It does make sense, and it's so beautiful, like the wordings and everything. So my kids, obviously, from young age, they're obviously learning Quran, and I feel like success is, for me, individually, is my religion, truly, because I believe in my religion, and everything what says in the Quran, if we can fulfill fulfill the Quranic
The principles, the laws,
yeah,
the rules.
this is success for me because we believe. I mean, I believe that hereafter is fully success for us. Is hereafter is everything. This is temporary for us. This world.
So you feel kind of good about like being on the right path
Yeah.
in a way. And
Yes.
Yeah, just like keep and also it's about maybe making it more accessible for your young children so they get an opportunity to actually understand rather than just memorize maybe.
Yeah.
And they'll get an opportunity to ask questions maybe
Yes,
as well.
yes.
So it's more like a two-way thing. So Mike, you okay? Yeah, yeah. But that's really, really good. And do you feel like now you have more time to explore Quran or like explore
Yes,
religion?
I do. I'm more focused on my religion more than how I used to be, and because it's like it's a natural thing. I understand it more. So as day go by going, like I'm just reading more things, and I'm like, oh look, this makes sense, and this makes sense, and I want to carry on doing it, and it makes sense. That's what I mean.
And it makes you happy.
Yeah, it
as
makes me
well.
happy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. And my kids are following it, and obviously my whole family, they're quite religious, so it's very loud. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah. No. No. Hopefully it's not too crazy loud. I can always turn it down. But thank you so much, Justin. I promise you, like a million light years ago. And
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Here we are,
It's
here
something
we
you
are.
said about half an hour ago, Layla, that I just wanted to pick up on.
Sorry about this. Just get
You said that your daughter said she wanted to be a lawyer, and that's good and everything, but it reminds me of a joke from a TV show in the 80s. You're too young to remember this. It was called Not the 9 o'clock News. Rowan Atkinson is playing the devil, and he's outside the gates of hell, and there's various people all approaching him, and he's trying to organise them, and he says, okay, murderers, if you can just wait over there, please. Thieves, just over there, please. Gangsters, just here. And lawyers, if you could just wait there, please.
Oh, really? So are you saying that? Well, actually, this is an interesting point because you were talking about having kind of lifestyle and that kind of almost fits in with your religious views, right? Or your values. And then at the very beginning, we were talking about people compromising their values to kind of suit the working style. But what about successful jobs that maybe will be kind of? I mean, I'm sure there's more good lawyers than there are dodgy lawyers, right? But yeah, okay, thank you for the quote. But I mean, what about the kind of jobs and I don't know, things in this society that kind of make us deviate from our path? Like, what do we do about that? Do we change the society? Do we change ourselves? Do we just adapt? Will God understand that we just kind of have to do it a bit dodgy for a bit, you know, like what's the deal? Mikey, over to you and then to you, Reem. No, Reem, go on.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, okay. It's a tough
Um,
question. No one's
yeah.
got the answers.
I'll just say two things. The
Yeah.
first one, I'll reply to what you just said.
Yeah.
There's things like that we might not consider a sin because they're super normalized in society, but they're actually sins. Like, for example, just something so simple like listening to music. You might just be walking on, like, or just on your phone, scrolling on social media, and then now you're listening to a song, and this song is singing about devilish things and maybe about a bit like showing skin, cheating, and basically sins. So I feel like we don't fit. Sometimes we sin without even knowing. So it's about just kind of sitting down. I mean, we're only human. We all make mistakes. We're not. We don't have superpowers. I mean, maybe someone does. Not me though.
Next round of questions. Okay, so very quickly, Julian, give us a final thought. And remember, next event like this is on Wednesday, 30th of April, 6 p.m. Anything to add? Okay, that's it. Drops the mic and leaves. That's fine. That's classic Talkaoke. But you know what? It's fine. You can do that. But we do prefer if you give us a final thought if you're going to go. But anyway, carry on. So sometimes people don't realize they're committing sins. Does that apply to non-believers as well, or people who are kind of following different other religions?
That was coming on my next
Okay,
question,
right.
but I was gonna kind of open a little bit of the debate.
Yeah,
Can I
go
do
for it,
that?
yeah.
So, in my opinion, all religions are the same, but like different chapters. So, for non-believers, I don't know. But for example, people who may be like Jewish or maybe like Christian or maybe some other religions, I feel like, especially like Abrahamic religions, I feel like they're all different chapters. Is like a book has been revealed and has been a bit corrupted, then the next one is coming to kind of correct what's previous. But I feel like maybe society is making us believe that all religions are different to kind of keep us separate. What do you guys think? What are the thoughts on that?
Okay, I think it's a great question. The kind of question that you would ask if you were in the middle of the Talkaoke table. So maybe you've been to some Talkaokes before. Maybe that's what we're building up to, which obviously I'll be very open to. But yes, so are different religions are just some kind of way to keep us separated? You had your hand up and you're nodding, but
Yeah, I
let's
kind of
see if we
agree.
can
I kind of agree with that. I think there's lots of things that come out in that world to divide us, and you know, it's even like coming back to the point with Jay and the Big Bang. I felt that was quite a spiritual point, even though it's not necessarily within a sort of organized religion. But we're always seeing the things that divide us, that rather than the things that unite us, even if we've got very, very different perspectives. Do you know what I mean?
So what would be like the uniting factor between people of different religions?
Well, I mean, it's like, for example, like my stepdad is from Pakistan and he's brought up in a Muslim religion, but then he sort of turned away from that. But then my dad also married a Muslim woman as well. And one of the I think the interesting things that I found out, she wasn't as kind of, you know, because I think if you turn away from something, then you become more negative and anti, but she wasn't like that. So some of the things about that religion, which I really relate to, is like the love for other people, the sharing element. Come and join us.
Do you
Yeah.
love people? Because if you do, this is the chat for you.
Yeah, but
Come on in. Welcome. He's finally in the building. Come and give us your name. Welcome to Talkaoke. What's in? I'm Margot. What's your name? Yeah, brother, take a seat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. My name is Ali Durir. I'm living in Aberfeldy. I'm a great person. I'm working in my community. I love the improving for our
For our community.
Aberfeldy.
That's amazing. Well, listen, take a seat for a few minutes if you've got time, because we're just talking about community. Are you off? Okay. Well, nice to meet you, Ali, and we're here till 2 o'clock, so when you're coming back. All right. Really good to meet you. Take care. So, before we welcomed Ali, we gave it our best shot, didn't we? We really welcomed him, but Man's got to go and do his thing. Yes, James. That's community vibe right there, guys.
Yeah, just to respond to that, you know, what what is it that can cause harmony? You know, that unification that you talked about, and an interesting thing could be that it's the disunity, the disharmony actually conserve harmony. So evil can serve good, and good can serve evil.
Okay. I mean, I think this is a really interesting point. But do you have any examples of when something maybe the division kind of served something positive? Or
Yes, well, look, as an immediate example, we've got Mr. Donald Trump residing over a superpower in the United States, and him doing his thing and occupying the news, and then there's a reaction on the ground, an upswell of, no, this isn't right. And so there's a reaction to that thing. It's almost like it's a natural law that exists. I don't know how to describe it, Margaret, but it's
I
yeah.
think it's very clear what you're saying. So in a way, when you've got figures like Donald Trump just doing maybe deliberately kind of damaging things, that almost annoys people so much so that they unite against that thing. And in the end, they are coming together, even though division was originally the reason why they came together. So I think it's very clear what you're saying. Okay, so yeah, we're talking about things that do bring us together. We're talking about community vibes, of course, as well. Is your question answered, or you want more? Because more is good. Mike, did you have anything else
No,
to
I
add?
just didn't finish my point, which was about like, the thing you asked me what was in common, and there's in Muslim religion there's a lot about like sharing resources or don't let people go hungry, making sure that everyone's got food and that they're well looked after, which I think is something that should be universal. I think it's more enshrined in that religion maybe than in other religions.
But maybe,
Yeah.
I mean, but is it something that if you follow religion, then you like if you just kind of freestyling, right, as a human being in this world, is it obvious to you what are the priorities? Is religion helping to kind of get those priorities? Okay, listen, there's like, I don't know, in Christianity there's 10 commandments. Just follow that, you'll be good. Maybe in Islam is something similar. I don't know. Is it about having a clear vision, or do we just innately know what are the rules? What should we be doing?
I think humans by nature, we are good since we're born. We are innocent, but then as long as we grow, we get more. Um, like we clearly can see that the society is basically run by the devil. So we end up getting like somehow like misguided. So I feel like if you was a human non-believer, or maybe you don't believe in religions in general, when you're doing something wrong, good thing it was empty. When you're doing something wrong, um, you can feel it. So maybe you're not religious, but you know that you're doing something wrong. And I feel like one thing that all religions share is like be kind, help, give up to the poor, give back to the community, teach for those who don't know, educate yourself before you say something, don't judge. I feel like these are simple things that all religions mention. I feel like even non-Abrahamic religions mention the same thing. So that's why I feel like our nature is good, but then we just get misguided. So I feel like believer or non-believer, when you do wrong, you can feel it. You can feel that you're doing wrong.
Okay, so I mean, do you think Donald Trump wakes up in the morning, goes like, you know what, I'm gonna be kind today, and it just things go wrong, or is he deliberately just like messing it up for everybody? Because I wonder, yeah, is
He wakes up in the morning and he feels like I'm going to be kind, but not to everybody. It's to sex, to like I don't need to like say, but how he's handling things at the moment is one-sided to a lot of people. Not some people might think it's great, and a majority of people are just astonished, and that they've voted this guy in, and the atrocities haven't nothing's changed. But yeah, if I could just add quickly, you know, you know, I'm speaking from experience, and you know, I've just been listening to what everyone's been speaking about. But again, I think again we're human beings, right? And you know, we do need guidance, right? And education, knowledge, and whatnot. And I think you know we're like I got so much in my head, and it's a bit scattered, yeah. But a lot of it, you know, we grow up, we babies, we grow up, you know, and then we've got our feelings, emotions, you know, greed, all of, you know, wants, needs, and stuff like that. And this is where we clash with other people because, you know, we've got our government, we've got taxes, we've got inflation, we've got street guys out here that, you know, do what they got to do because they got family at home, and then we've got a younger society that think it's cool, and then they go out and do it when they don't even need to do it because they've got parents that work, and you know, so it's very, very hard to, you know, pinpoint things. But at the moment, things aren't good at all, you know, in society, and it's very difficult to like kind of real youngsters because they're the future, right? Right, the youngsters are the future. So if we can't reel these guys in and show them, you know, what's right and what's wrong, then yeah, I think we're heading for trouble. A lot of it.
Yeah, but I really love that point about, well, firstly about Donald Trump, or someone like Donald Trump, maybe not even always him, but, you know, waking up and saying like, no, I'm going to be good, I'm going to be kind for a specific group of people. So it's like, it's almost there, but it's not quite there, what he's doing. But yeah, it's true. You'll be just aligning yourself with the people that you support. Yeah.
Sorry, just one last thing I want to add to this, right? Okay, prior to, and I don't want to get political and, you know, stuff like that, but prior to, because it does affect our people, and our society, prior to what's been happening in the Middle East, right, you know, and how it's like, it's just, we're seeing things today that our children, us even, have never seen before, like, you know, what's happening to people and stuff like that. And I mean, if it's all right to happen over there, then I'm sure the kids are going to think it's all right to happen here or anywhere in the world. You know, it's happening. So, you know, a lot of it boils down to feelings, emotions, and what this person's doing, what that person's doing. And okay, it's okay to, you know, analyze people, you know, and it's really not. It's really testing times, I believe.
Okay, so testing times, a bit of guidance is almost necessary because there's so much going on, and also the thing that you just added now, particularly for young people as well. But also it's like seeing things on the news, on TV. News travels a lot, and how do we know that people may not get the wrong end of the stick? Like, oh, it's okay over there, I'm going to do it here. So I'm going to come to you, Justin, and then you, Mikey, and then you, Reed. But these are very good points.
Mohammed, you say that we're seeing things now that we've not seen before. I'm not sure that I entirely agree with that. Man has been killing his brother consistently throughout history. We're not seeing anything new. It's been going on for millennia.
Okay, so yeah, go on.
Social media's not been about for millennia. Yeah, this is now. It's different. We've got things like TikTok that really, you know, there is no, you know, TikTok, X, Twitter, you know, so you know, kids are seeing things. I understand where you're coming from, right? You know, we could take it back to the 18th century, yeah. But we're talking about today and what people are doing on the back of what happened in the past. Well, we've done it in World War II. It happened. The Americans did it. You know, the British did it back then. So it's okay to do it today, is it? Is it okay? But this is what we get told. Well, the Americans did it, the British did it, so we're just doing what they did. What's the difference?
We're just continuing with that. But it's very true. It's the social media. Maybe that's changed. But the principle of people being nasty to each other, that is probably as old as humanity itself. But meanwhile, we've got new people around the table. Give these people a round of applause. I'll just do it with one hand because I'm holding the mic. But welcome to Talkaoke. We've got Mohammed, we've got Mikey, we've got Reem, we've got Jay, we've got Layla, we've got Justin. I'm Margot. What are your names?
Oh, hi there. I'm Z. I'm a local school teacher, and this is Standa, my girlfriend. We live just around the corner over there.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Z. And
Trudan.
Trudan, welcome. And come and join us if you feel like it. This is a coffee and tea proof table. So you're welcome to pop your stuff here. There's some biscuits behind you as well. That's okay, you can listen, it's not a problem. Will you give us your name just at least?
Sue.
Sue, welcome Sue. So Yeah.
So I have to go, Margot. So thank you for hosting a most delightful time. I appreciate everybody.
My
Thank you.
absolute pleasure, and thank you so much for putting so much into the conversation. Just because you're leaving, will you give us some final thoughts? And this is a question to everybody, or request to everybody. If you're going to leave, just give us a final thought. Don't sneak out. Final thought, Jay.
I would say that as a final thought, love abides, and that's demonstrated here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Jay, quick question, just a quick thing. We are doing the Aberfeldy Stories project. If you want to be involved in some ways, do you want to be involved in some ways? I can give you the... I have your number? Okay, fine. Okay, I'll text you. Fine. Right, because we are doing the Aberfeldy Stories... oh, yeah. It's good. That's it. This is prepared for these situations too, so don't you worry. Yes. Hey, come and join us. Welcome. Yes, you want to say something?
I just want to say something about my best friend, Sue. She didn't want to say anything, so I'll talk on her behalf.
That's okay.
She's an amazing person. I've met her. It's been 15 years of my life, and she's been throughout my life, helped me out so much. This neighborhood is amazing. I mean, the connection I have in this neighborhood is loving, amazing. So she's been wonderful all my since I've met her. She's been always there for me. So yeah.
So I mean, maybe another thing to add is friendship as well, and that kind of support they get from people. From your friends. But meanwhile, welcome. This is Talkaoke. My name is Margot. What's your name?
Amy.
Amy, welcome. Why don't you do random names? Because I always like memorizing those. Amy.
Yasmin.
Oh, Yasmin.
That's my other name.
Okay.
Sorry, should I just say Layla? All right, Layla.
No, either. It could be Bob, it doesn't really matter. I mean, whatever you want.
Justin.
Okay. You're welcome to use it or not.
Mohammed.
Anonymous Sue. Go. Sorry, I was too quick. Go on,
You
Sue.
said it too for me.
No, sorry, go.
So,
We've got Sue,
Mikey.
Shrudan.
And Z.
and Amy, of course, and I'm Margot. And this is Talkaoke. We're here at Aberfeldy, big local. There's Ricky over there, and younger crew, younger generation. We have just been talking about younger generation, actually. And we've got this mysterious person. Give us your name again.
My name is Rim.
Welcome. So here we are. Yeah, you've got something.
Yes, sorry.
Great.
I wanted to say something about the conversation you guys was having earlier.
Yeah.
I think it's super interesting what you guys said. How you was defending that this is not thing new, and how you was defending that back then there was no social media. I feel like what they trying to do subconsciously is to kind of make us think, like normalize it somehow. It's out there in social media for us to think that, oh yeah, on the other side of the world people is dying and they've been dying anyway. We cannot do anything. We can only send money, and that money we don't even know where it's going because they cannot receive food. So, well, they cannot receive the money at least. And if they receive the money, I don't know what they would do with it in that situation.
Normalized.
Yeah, I feel like it's being normalized. Maybe I'm a bit of like a conspiracy theorist, but we was but we was talking about Trump earlier.
Yeah.
And I feel like we was thinking like, does he just wake up and take decisions like, oh yeah, maybe today I'm being kind today. So from my conspiracy theorist point of view, I would say he don't even take decisions like that. He's just like the doll who's put there, just like Elon Musk, who just put there to kind of make us feel like he is taking decisions, he is the bad guy. Meanwhile, you have other 10 people who is probably like the richest families in the world taking decisions here. And they kind of put someone who has influence over people to kind of make him feel a type of way. And going back to the music I was saying earlier, I feel like they kind of doing the same with artists and entertainment business to make us believe that whatever an influence is doing is right.
Okay, so maybe we're just seeing kind of something that's a manipulation to some extent, is just making us normalize things like this sorts of lyrics in music or these sorts of news, which is like, oh yeah, people are dying, they've always been dying, like it's fine, don't worry about it, just send the money, But for the people who just joined us recently, you may or may not know what Talkaoke is or how it operates, and come and join us if you'd like to. Anonymous person at the back, whom I recognize. Okay, oh, you're your children, but you can, these guys can scooch up surely. Yeah, just grab a seat. So I'm Margaret, this is everyone else. I will introduce you. We've got Sue, we've got Mike, we've got Trudan, we've got Z, we've got Reem, we've got Amy, we've got Layla, and many other names as well. We've got Justin, we've got Mohammed. I'm Margaret, what's your name?
My name is Monjora Khatun Moni.
Money. I remember Money very well from back in the day. So, so welcome. So this is Talkaoke. It's a talk show. The way it works is people kind of decide, yeah, I can swap with you. I can have my toast, but I will do like a quick introduction. The way this works is people just offer up subjects, we link them together, we kind of talk, and people can speak whenever they want to, and we try to kind of move the conversation along. So before you guys arrived, we've been talking about, we were talking about kind of the principles, what guides our life. Do people who are non-believers, do they always know they commit sin? Is sin, or is the kind of guidance that comes from a religion, is it actually to some extent, I don't want to say common sense because no one said that, but it's just a bunch of principles to help us agree on common things like be kind, help each other, feed your fellow human being. Is the world slightly on the mission to divide us? Actually, are we easily divided? We're talking about Donald Trump. You mentioned, okay, is he just some kind of a puppet maybe, just doing things just to kind of influence the society? We've been talking about, there's nothing new about people being horrible to each other, killing each other. What is new is what you're saying is the social media, is the message kind of gets around really, really quickly. And what about young people? How does it define people's idea of success, particularly young people? Are young people having it tougher? And it all kind of stemmed from us talking about, is it all about making money? Is success defined by money? Do young people feel the pressure to actually go and make money quick, sometimes maybe not in legal ways? And yeah, does every millionaire start with being a bit dodgy? And we talked about other stuff as well. Anyway, Mikey, over to you.
I just want to make a point which is about the news, seeing all this really negative news all the time, and it makes you feel down. And it reminds me of something that I saw on social media, because I don't think social media is all bad. And there's a friend of mine that actually has got cancer, but she posted on the social media, I'm not going to wait until I've cured from cancer to be happy. I'm going to be happy now, even though I've got cancer. I'm not going to wait until my treatment ends. And I think it's the same with all this news, because the tendency is to watch all this news and feel very depressed and very down. But you can't, even though you have to acknowledge it's going on and we have to do stuff about it, we can't be unhappy because these things are happening, because as Justin has said, they've always been happening. And if we were going to be unhappy then we would never get a chance to be happy.
Okay, so do we need to just press on of being happy regardless of what's happening in the world? You're leaving us. Give us a final thought.
My final thought would be that you're actually very right. That's my opinion. You cannot measure your happiness on something, because that way you're never going to be happy. Your happiness will always depend on something. Is it physical, materialistic, or maybe another person? Your happiness has to be based on whatever makes you feel satisfied or makes you feel good with yourself. Maybe just put on a dress. That makes me happy. So I feel like happiness is small little things, and it's not something that's gonna last. We don't achieve happiness. Happiness happens, and then it just goes and comes and leaves. Just like angry, you're not gonna achieve being angry forever. You just be angry sometimes. So that's my opinion on happiness.
No, that's really
Thank you for today. I'll probably be back later. What time do you guys finish?
We finish at 2 o'clock, but also I want to talk to you outside of this about doing
Yes,
something.
please.
So,
Yes,
please.
please.
Make sure that you leave your details.
Yes, let me leave my phone number.
Okay, I'm gonna give you my phone so you can put your
Let me
details
put
down.
it here,
Okay.
and I'll send you a message right now. But I would love to do something with you guys. Every time I come
That would be
here,
awesome.
I always
This is how it
having
works.
nice conversations.
2439548. I'm gonna call myself and I'm Margot.
I will save your number.
Thank you so much. It's Margot. Margot, yeah. Okay. And you too. See you later. Thank you so much. So to the people who just joined us, and that's you, Amy, Z, and Truden, and maybe you, Moni, just because you've not had a chance to answer a question of what is success, or maybe what is happiness to you. I'm just curious, just because that kind of came up. How would you define happiness or success for you? Amy, do you have any thoughts? Do you think about it sometimes?
Oh yes, I think
Have
that's
a
quite important most of the time, and I think happiness is not just within myself, but around people around me as well. You know, if your friends are not happy, then you want to play a part in how to make them happy. So I think it extends not just from myself, but on a wider range, not just friends and family, even neighbours. I mean, I've only just moved into this area,
Oh, welcome.
but if I don't know if meet anyone, you just give them that little bit of time, and sometimes just having that, giving that time just to talk and listen.
No, absolutely. And I think you making a really interesting point because happiness is almost like it's not even your own happiness. Like you almost can't be happy if people around you aren't happy. So how
Absolutely.
do you kind of influence that? It may just start with a conversation, just making somebody feel welcome and listened to and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
absolutely.
That's amazing. So you just moved into the area. Welcome to Aberfeldy Street.
Thank
Give
you.
some lots of buttons there. So do stay in touch because we will be doing some projects and it is all about kind of getting people to meet each other and and connect. So thank you, Amy. So this is happiness for you. What about you guys? What's happiness for you? Z, grab the mic. As a teacher,
Sure.
you've got teacher here as well.
Brilliant.
Is that part of your happiness or it's like no? Happiness is elsewhere.
Half and half, maybe. I
Okay.
think for me, happiness is closely linked to freedom, and happiness is about doing whatever is fulfilling to you. And I guess the opposite of happiness, feeling you're coerced into doing something that's something you really don't want to do, but you have to do it for whatever reason. Okay, that's unhappiness for me. So for me, happiness is freedom. My job, I guess, 99% of it's really fulfilling, but there's just this 1% of admin, whether it's data entry or anything else. I can definitely say happiness is not there when I do it.
Okay, so happiness is the world minus admin. If you can remove the admin, then it's just you get closer to happiness.
I
This
think
is
so.
really great. Okay, so your work actually does bring you happiness in 99%.
Yes.
That's amazing. I mean, and I do wonder, and I really love that link with freedom as well. Do people around the table, do you feel like you sometimes have to do things but you don't really want to? Do you feel like your freedom is being clipped, or do you understand kind of, maybe it's good for me to do this thing that I hate, admin or something else? But yeah, thank you so much, Z.
Thank you.
So we know a little bit about happiness from you guys. Truden, what makes you happy? Yeah, go on.
I pick my children, sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Um, happiness meaning is very big, So happiness, I think, happiness is at that moment. 5 months ago, I was 87 kg, me. Now 62 now. So that time happiness and happiness also for garden, happiness for quality time with my family and cooking. Sometime the cooking special food when my children said, "Oh, mommy, it's very tasty." That time I feel happiness. And business time, customer, when I bought my product, that time, oh, it's very nice and quality is, when it explains customer, that time I'm very, very happy. When I made, made for customer, the dress, I made dress. After that, made to measurement, customer happy. That time, my, I made her dress how many years ago? Tailoring, yeah. So that time she explained, "Oh, Moni, I'm very, very happy." That time I'm very, very happy. That I ran cooking class. My students said, "Oh, Moni, is very tasty." Every Tuesday, I run cooking class Aberfeldy. It was very, the opinion. Some people opinion, oh, very good, very. That time I'm very, very happy. Happiness, lot explain. So.
So it's lots of ways in which you achieve happiness, and actually, it reminds me of what you said. It's kind of like you connect to people, you're making other people happy, and that makes you happy. So it's kind of like you pass it on. I want to ask: happiness is contagious?
My son also selected grammar school, Kent and South End. So there selected my son. So I afford 1 year, with my children. I spend time with my children, but now I'm very happy. Select to school, to grammar school. This is lots of happiness with my life.
So you're like a happiness generating kind of unit. Like you know, you generate the happiness, you spread it out. And congratulations. Is your son at University of Essex then, doing drama?
Yes.
I went to that drama school. Just saying.
I pick my children now.
Okay. Oh yeah, fine, fine. So this was your final thought. Yeah. Thank you so much, Moni. I'm gonna drop your line because I need to talk to you. But thank you so much.
You also the local dressmaker.
Yeah, dressmaker.
Dressmaker. Yeah.
Food maker.
I have tailoring business and also export-import business, garments business. Our warehouse in Southall is big, and I spend time there 2 days, 3 days. That are other time community with people, cooking project, morning walk, walking project, and also the gardening project. So I'm very busy, and other time I spend with my family and children. And also every day, 7 o'clock, my 2 children with me do homework, do tuition homework, do school homework every day. So busy life. Thank you.
Thank you, Moni. And I hope you get some rest as well, because you know how it is. Just don't burn out. But thank you so much. But I was just going around around the table asking the happiness. So we know from you, Amy, we know from you, Z, we know from Moni, who's now gone. Truden, I'm going to come back to you. What makes you happy?
Oh my god.
Don't worry.
Okay.
You're among friends.
Actually, improving my English speaking and listening can make me happy now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is a good activity. I can talk with some local, and yeah, this make me happiness. And now think so make money make me happy. Yes. In recent, I through social media to make money.
Okay, so
Yeah.
is social media a good place to find out about
Yeah.
how to make money?
Yes.
What is the latest? What are the latest tips? I'm just curious.
You know, a China app called 小红书. Okay, this.
For everyone, that's after the American TikTok ban. Red Note, that's a Chinese social media, became popular, I think, in the US and here. Okay, that's Red Note. If you want to give it a look.
Okay, so this is the social media plan. Are they sharing some tips on that then?
Yeah.
That's the new popular social media. Yes, well, new for the UK, but old for China. But oh, not quite, I'm afraid. I wish.
Hey, you might be. You know,
I
social
wish.
media. Okay, so social media is a place to make money, but your happiness is attached to you speaking and learning English, and I like that as well. So hopefully we will help you with many moments of happiness by doing this talk show. Thank you so much, Z. Yeah, Mikey.
I actually really enjoy learning new words of all different languages. And to me, that does give me a lot of happiness as well. I like to know a few words in each language. I just discovered a new word in Urdu, which is Majida.
We know some.
Yeah, I know. But in Urdu, Majida means delicious. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know this. Okay. I mean, can I just do an audit of languages around this table? So, Mike, you know one word in Urdu. Do you speak any other languages apart from English? You're doing okay.
Not really. I can speak a bit of German, a bit of Polish, a little bit of Turkish, a little bit of Bengali.
Anybody wants to test Mike and his knowledge that you are?
No.
No, okay. So don't test it. Okay. What languages do you speak, Shudan? Apart from English, obviously, very well.
Sorry.
Which languages do you speak?
Chinese.
Chinese?
Yes.
Okay.
Which type of Chinese?
Wait.
Is that just China? He just hit. That's the question. You took my question out my head, but that's fine. Cantonese, Chinese. You speak Chinese, you said, yeah, or is it Cantonese? Is it two different?
Are they different? Is it Chinese or Cantonese? Is there a difference?
Sorry.
算讲粤语和普通话的区别。
Oh, I don't know because I don't speak.
Okay, so Chinese. Okay, yeah, go on.
Let's ask sir.
Okay.
Okay, so Chinese and Cantonese, two different. Is it?
Yeah,
Yes.
Chinese and Cantonese. Yeah, let's find out.
So, actually, I want to tell you a bit about myself. I moved here 2 years ago, and I really love the local community. I found out. I think the Chinese language is similar to Bengali. Before the official government unification, there are just a lot of different dialects. And currently, Mandarin is the official dialect of China that's spoken in mainland China. Whereas Cantonese, it's one of the minor dialects, but it's really popular among the coastal regions. It's more prevalent in the UK and elsewhere because, well, the earliest Chinese immigrants to other countries come from the coastal cities, and they bring their dialect to the new countries. That's why there are many Cantonese speakers outside China.
Okay, but there's like another, the mainland Chinese language. That's amazing. So you speak Chinese, you speak English, any other languages?
I actually did GCSE German. I'm pretty proud. I still remember quite a few words.
Okay, so alles klar, guten Tag. So you guys can have a conversation in German
Indeed.
with Mikey or not, if he likes.
Meine Ellbogen tut weh.
Yeah, okay. It's a great sentence, very important as well. Amy, what about you? Do you speak any other languages?
I speak Gujarati, but I understand a little bit of Urdu, Hindi, and Swahili.
Oh, okay, so only just a bunch of languages. That's amazing. Did you know about this word in Urdu, the Majida? Have you heard that?
No, I never heard of that.
Okay. Can you teach us a word in maybe Swahili?
Asante sana, which means thank you.
Asante sana. Asante sana in Swahili. Yeah. So we're learning something. We've got a new face around the table. Just before I come to you and the languages. Hello, welcome to Talkaoke. What's your name?
Zishan.
Zishan, welcome. Are you related to this lady here?
Yeah.
Who is your mum?
Yeah, my mom.
Okay, Zishan, when you, as you got here, we're just talking about different languages that people speak. So Mikey speaks a bunch of languages, not too well, but English is probably like your dominant language. We learned about Cantonese and Chinese and English as well. We've got Swahili, Urdu,
Gujarati.
Hindi, Gujarati. Do you speak any other languages apart from English?
Yeah.
What do you speak?
Bengali.
Bengali. Can you teach us a word in Bengali?
Afne kemonasan.
Kemonasan.
Yeah.
And what does that mean?
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Kemonasan. Do you speak Bengali?
Yeah.
Okay, Kemonasan.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Me neither. I just learned from Zishan here. Apparently that means how's it going? Yeah, like how are you? So welcome. Zishan, we've got still Moni, and we're just talking about what languages people speak. Can I just grab your name? What's your name?
Ria.
Ria, welcome. I'm Margot. What's your name?
Lilia.
Lilia. What's your name again?
Ria.
Lilia. Who do we have here?
Aya.
Lilia. Oh gosh. Ria. I know Ria. And we've got someone hiding there.
Selena.
Lila? Oh, Selena. Selena, are you coming to join us? Hey, Selena. So, okay, so welcome to this talk show. So we've got Bengali, we've got English, we've covered you. Hello, welcome. Okay, your sister. I'm Margot, what's your name?
Maria.
Maria, welcome. What languages can you speak apart from English?
Bengali.
Bengali, so we've heard from Zishan about, what was the word they taught us? Kamanachu. And then, yeah, what?
I think it was Keman-Asin.
Yeah, go on. Okay, we've got some experts around the table. Thank God, because my knowledge of languages is limited. Can you teach us a word in Bengali?
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Hope everybody's doing. Kemanasa, everybody. Okay. Bala, Bala. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, guys, and thank you for being so nice and bearing with me. And Swahili, we learned. Just tell me the first.
Asante sana, to say thank you.
Asante sanas, everybody. So it's a very multilingual one. No, Mikey, I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Languages.
Come back to me.
languages?
This gentleman's been
Okay,
waiting.
okay.
Yeah?
Gentlemen. Oh, yes, let's go in this direction. Just lost it.
I did Latin at school, which
Can you teach us something?
okay. So caecilius in horto sedet. Everybody say that. Caecilius in horto sedet.
In Horto Sedet.
It means Caecilius is sitting in the garden.
And who's Calcilius?
He's just a Roman that we had in our Latin books at school.
Okay.
But-
Is he like a John? Okay.
Oh, the Cambridge Latin course. Yeah, okay. And here's another one. Romani ite domum. Say that after me. Romani ite domum. Means Romans go home.
Okay. A bit of advice there for the Romans. Thank you. So Latin, obviously. Yeah.
Is that in the imperative?
Ite is the imperative, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'm glad that we got our tenses. So we've got you, Ria. You've got something. You need to share something. What is going on? Oh wow! Congratulations. How do you say congratulations in Latin?
Oh no, my
No,
Latin
we-
maybe.
Yeah. Congratulations in any of the languages. Shabash. Shabash. Oh, well done. So yeah, Mikey.
I can say it in Polish, gratulacje.
I think you'll find gratulacje.
That's what I just said.
Similar, but
That's what I just said.
Okay. Yeah, okay, okay. Maybe I was too harsh, you know, because when it's your language, you want people to pronounce it correctly, you know. If you're Polish, other languages, other countries are a bit more relaxed. What did you win? Congratulations.
I won chocolate, and I won it because of I'm doing a singing lesson.
Okay, okay. Do you enjoy singing? Okay. And do you think there's going to be different languages that you're going to be singing in, or is it going to be in English? Is it going to be just like la la la?
In English.
In English. Okay. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah.
Okay. Any singers around the table? I know this is Talkaoke about talking. Amy, definitely not. You hate singing?
I like singing, but I try not to sing in front of everybody.
Okay, okay. You're keeping it kind of to yourself. I appreciate that. Yeah, bathroom is a great place for singing, isn't it? Okay, but we're going around the table very quickly. Sorry, Mikey. Latin, English, languages.
Bengali,
Hey.
opposed to Bengali. I've just said it, you know, how the Bengalis would say it, Bengali.
Okay.
English. I have travelled to many countries, to China, or other countries that speak foreign, you know, many countries, but very interested in learning languages. But yeah, my main language would be English because I was born here, and Bengali. Yeah, and we do have different dialects, so that's why we have these little differences where kids may not understand at times, or there's issues. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Say it on the
San Mariano Bengali song.
Bengali song. Okay. Are you a singer? Okay. Oh, you know a song? Okay.
I just wanted to say that singing a song is a very good way. It's a very good way to learn a language as well. Like going back to Swahili, there's a very famous Swahili song, Jambo, Bwani, Jambo. I can't remember anyway. Habari Gani,
So go to the extra.
etc., etc. But it's I've forgotten it because it's such a long. But that when I first arrived in a Swahili-speaking country, they taught me that song, and it's a good way to know all the most basic words.
Okay.
But also would like to remind everyone that there's 2 rules on Talkaoke: no fighting, no singing.
Okay, so we can talk about singing, but we can't sing at the table, just because then it turns into karaoke. But I was just wondering, do people have favorite songs? Like, do you have favorite songs, anybody? Or songs that maybe you listened to when you were learning another language? Or maybe some good songs to recommend to other people to learn the language? How's the Latin pop music scene right now, Justin?
I don't know about that, but I went to cinema yesterday to see Snow White, and there's not many good songs, but there's a wonderful song that starts off the film. Really puts you in a good mood. The songs were written by the same team that did the songs in The Greatest Showman, which a lot of people know those songs because they're very singable.
Okay, so you saw a song in a film. Not so much recommended by you, but songs. Well, one song is good. Okay, one song is good. Girls, a question to you: do you have favorite songs? What do you listen to right now? What's on your playlist? Favorite artists?
Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars. Do you have a favorite track by Bruno Mars? Can you tell us what it is?
Die with a smile.
Again?
Die with a smile.
Die of a smile. Die of a Oh wow, serious stuff. Hit the serious button, Mikey, you know? Thank you. So Bruno Mars, do you have a favorite artist at the moment?
No.
No? Do you listen to Bruno Mars?
Yes.
Okay, do you know this song? No? Okay, what's your favorite song by Bruno Mars? Do you know? No, maybe you'll come back to it. When you hear it, you'll know it's a good one, right? Taylor Swift. Do you like Taylor Swift, Justin? Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah? Mike, yes, just such a an expert thing to say. But thank you very much, girls. Amy, what's your favorite song? Do you have a favorite song? Favorite artist?
Oh, Bollywood, Lata Mangeshkar. Any Bollywood, I'm in there.
Okay, we need to update the playlist. Ricky, I hope you can spin some decks later. We're making notes, and Ricky's going to spin some decks later. Yeah, just keeping in the catalogue. Okay, so Bollywood.
Absolutely.
Are you a dancer as well? Do you enjoy dancing?
I love it.
Yeah?
Love it.
Do you do it in front of other people, or you keep it to bathroom as well?
In parties, I'll probably be in the centre.
Guys, let's have a party. That's what I'd like to say. Thank you, Amy. Yeah?
I'm just wondering, because we've got this project called Made in Aberfeldy,
Oh, yeah?
which is all about celebrating the fact that 50 years ago, next year, will be 50. Sorry, not 50 years ago was when Iron Maiden started their first ever concert. Probably half the people here don't know who Iron Maiden are, but they're a very famous metal band.
You know.
Yeah, and they started 50 years ago next year. So what we want to do is create a new song for Aberfeldy. But I'm wondering if we should have a little bit of a Bollywood influence, just because that's another influence. And what other kind? Cause we talked about languages, but maybe it should have other music styles from around the world. Maybe I've got no idea what the Chinese music is. And could we incorporate some of that? And what would other people want? And maybe on the Bengali scene, what would people want?
Okay, so a bit of Bollywood. I mean, would anybody want to make a piece of music? Something to dance to, maybe? Yes? Yes? You're going to be involved? Moni, you're going to make some music?
I like also, the Bengali song is Robindra Sangit, Nozrul Sangit. Robindra Sangit, Nozrul Sangit folk song. Yeah, like this.
New one? Has it been around for a while?
Robindra Sangit, yeah. Famous Robindra Sangit, Nozrul Sangit. Yeah.
Ricky,
Cultural song
okay,
also.
and that's a good one for people to maybe start learning Bengali as well? Or is it quite difficult?
Not difficult.
Okay, so maybe we can play it later. Thank you, Moni.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So we've got Bollywood, we've got some Bengali songs, we've got Taylor Swift and Bruno Mars, possible influences. What's your favorite song?
I did it.
What's that? What's your favorite song? Do you like any artists? Do you listen to any music? Yes, it's a difficult question. Probably you listen to music all the time, so have a think about it. I'll come back to you. Ria, what's your favorite song or artist?
My favorite artist is Taylor Swift, and my favorite song from her is "Shake It Off."
Shake It Off. Shake It Off. Yeah, that's another one in the bank of Ricky's playlist. Thank you very much. Is it an upbeat song or is it like quite down?
It's an upbeat song.
Upbeat song. Is it good to dance to?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good to know. You can. Well, maybe don't know. We don't know. We need to talk to management. The management DJ, the head DJ here. Okay, thank you very much for this. What's your favorite song? What type of music or artist? I just want to find out.
Right, one of my favorites and one I'm hoping people might know is Fairy Tale of New York City. That's
Oh,
one.
you've got fans.
Right.
We never got your name on the mic. Resident DJ. Oh, you did? Not on my shift. But anyway, I'll get you on the mic.
Okay,
shortly.
it's the traditional Christmas songs, the classic. I guess they're classical, and it's always about the same story. Whereas this one's a bit different. It's about a young couple moving to New York, trying to make their name and their living. But it didn't go on so well for them. But it's Christmas time. They still want to get together and celebrate what they have after a fight. So that's my favorite song.
Okay. And you mentioned Christmas in April. That's fine. We're okay with that, right? It's controversial, but it's very good. I like it.
I'm actually friends with with one of the Pogues who wrote that song. Once at Christmas time, I said to him, you know, that's the best Christmas song ever. You know, well done. It really cheers me up every time I hear it in the shops compared to all the other rubbish songs that come at Christmas. He was so embarrassed. He couldn't take the compliment at all.
Oh, really? But
Very
why?
embarrassed about it.
But why? Do you know why?
I don't know. He's just not that sort of person. Obviously, you've got Shane McGowan, but he's one of the people behind the front singer, so he wasn't ready to have that compliment. But I think it's interesting because it is one of the. I stand by what I said, but even though he didn't really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, just because the culmination of this project is going to be around September time, are there any kind of holidays or festivities around September time that we can celebrate? I mean, of course we can record a Christmas song, which would be a bit weird, but yeah, I mean, we can roll with it. We can do a Christmas song in September, no problem. But are there any, like, if there are any festivals, just let us know if there are any holidays. Yeah.
Today is Bengali Festival Day.
Oh, which one? New Year? Is it New Year? Today?
New Year today, Bengali.
New Year.
Happy New Year, yeah.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Okay. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So, college Pohela Boishak.
Oh, Pohela
Bengali language, Pohela Boishak. Yeah.
That's
Like
Happy New Year.
January, February, March, Boishak, Joshto, Ashar, Shravan, Bhadro, Ashin. It's a 12-month name. Like that. So today is first day, Pohela Boishak.
Pohela Boishak.
Pohela Boishak.
Pohela Boishak.
Yeah.
Pohela Boishak. Okay, like we're learning quite a lot here, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Moni. So, New Year. I'm moving along, Mikey, because I want to find out actually from other people what their favorite songs are. Yeah, because you have to wait for your turn. That's how it works on Talkaoke. Sorry about that. Okay, what's your favorite song or an artist or style of music? It can be Christmas song, but it doesn't have to be, even though there's a big following for Christmas songs there, including Sue on the sofa.
One of my favorite song is 平凡之路. It's defeat anxiety and depressions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and some freedom. So sometimes this song make me more stronger. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So even though it's maybe like a sad song or dealing with like difficult subjects, it actually can be quite uplifting for you. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, if I can add to it, it's a Chinese song, and the name directly translates into Road to Mediocrity, and it's about just accepting who you are and dealing with it. So it has a really uplifting message in there somewhere.
Yeah, so there's a message. I mean, I do wonder because like we had uplifting music. Now we've got like more kind of like moody kind of reflect on your life, guys, kind of music. And I wonder what kind of music we're gonna make. But thank you for this. This is really brilliant. Thank you, Mikey. Now over to you. What's your favorite song? Thank you for this.
I don't think I really have a favourite song.
Oh, you don't actually
No.
after all of this.
No.
So you have to pick one.
No, for me it's always like the last song that I heard. So, but we've been listening to Heart FM all this time, so it's going to be one of those.
Spice Girls representation.
Yeah, yeah. I just like all music really.
Yeah.
So I don't know what my favourite song
What's on
is.
this playlist at the moment? What's the last thing you listen to on your computer then?
I was listening to some junglist massive stuff. Junglist. Oh, not allowed to sing on Talkaoke. Some jungle by a guy called Napes from London. Yeah.
Okay, next from London. Welcome back. We're talking about your favorite. Well, not your. Well, I will ask you about your favorite music because obviously you may not know what other people's favorite music or artists are. But yeah, we're just talking about that because we're going to be making some music. Does anybody play any instruments here, by the way? What do you play?
I grew up playing loads of instruments because I used to go to music school.
Okay.
I play the xylophone, the metallic, and the wood. I also play the piano a little bit. I'm not professional, like I'm not gonna play with the two hands, but I can play you a little something.
Yeah. Could you play? No, maybe that's too complicated.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
And
so
a couple more instruments, but nothing great, like a triangle.
Triangle, yeah.
A flute.
Listen, there's a skill. There's a skill to triangle. Okay, real skill. Mikey doesn't have that skill, so that's why I say that. Okay, you say you play an instrument. What do you play?
I play the clarinet.
The clarinet. Wow. What can you play on the clarinet?
I can play Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Very good. Do we have a button for that? Mary Had a Little Lamb. Okay, maybe a twinkle. Could we change the lyrics a bit to Mary had a little cow?
Yeah.
Okay, then we're good. We're good. Well done. Congratulations, clarinet. I think it's a very tough instrument. Do you play any instruments, Amy? What instrument would you like to play if you kind of... Piano? Why piano?
Freddie Mercury.
Okay. Do you think we should have some Freddie Mercury showmanship in this project? Yeah.
Yes.
What essence of Freddie Mercury what kind of things we should take from Freddie Mercury for this?
He was so down to earth. I mean, he was such a showman on stage, but off stage, he was just like grounded, you know. And his vocals, just totally in love with him.
Yeah. Oh, he was the one. Any Freddie Mercury fans around the table? Okay. Hey, here we go. So. But did they do any Christmas music? Queen or Freddie Mercury?
Yeah, they did. No. They did. Thank God It's Christmas. Queen did Thank God It's Christmas.
Okay, so.
I'm not going to sing it for you, but it goes basically Thank God It's Christmas.
Christmas in April. I love it though.
But yeah, the Queen. I love Queen as well.
Okay, so maybe we can keep a bit of that. Yeah. Yeah.
Today's music is.
So maybe we could bring something retro a little bit, maybe something from back in the day.
What is today's music? It's all about shooting, guns. Old music is the best.
What kind of themes come up in old music? What was the old music?
The Beatles and
what did they sing about? Can you say what did they sing about?
the yellow submarine.
Yeah, what's that about?
It's about a submarine.
Is it actual? It's not like a metaphor. Okay, cool. So it's more creative in a way.
If you go on YouTube, type in yellow submarine and it will show you how to song.
Okay. So people go and listen to some old music. Before I come to you, I'm just doing an audit. What instruments people play? Any instruments? Any instruments?
Harmonium.
Oh, you did harmonium. Or
Harmonium. Yeah.
Amazing. You know what?
Yeah, my son also run a guitar, and Maria also piano.
Piano.
Piano,
Okay.
both of them. Piano, both of them. She also learn is violin.
Okay.
Yes,
So the violin, the
violin.
clarinet, triangle, obviously, and some other instruments. Which
I have all kind of instrument in my
Yeah.
house. In my
Wow.
house, because we are cultural mind. We love dance. We love music. My husband also.
Okay.
When we are free time. Today is we are arranging some. We made some food and music. When going home after today past Bengali Cultural Day, Happy New Year. That's why special food I cook and also arranging music. But
Okay.
I don't know. My children today. The two children shy feel. I don't know why.
Okay. That's
Because
okay.
every Saturday they learn dancing, music, and Bengali language also,
Okay.
writing, reading also.
So
There
there's
no
a
is
lot,
poem, there no is the singing. Yeah, but I don't know why.
Okay,
said
so
it.
festivities, dancing, singing, food. It's a good combination. There's some Christmas, so not Christmas, they're not Christmas eggs, they're Easter eggs. Thank you, thank you. You know, it gets confusing with all the festivities. It's only April. Can I have one? We can swap as well if you wanted to. But this is really brilliant. We need to get your kids and you involved in the instruments. So we've got Indian harmonium, piano, clarinet. Yes, Mikey, quick question. I'm going to come around.
Bad timing, but my question is, why is there so many Christmas songs but no Easter songs?
There isn't, is there? It's not like that. I don't know why. So people can think about it. Yeah, Justin, you've got answers?
This is not a music. This is following on from Mikey's point there. We have Christmas trees, but apparently now there's a new thing, and that's Easter trees. Whereby, yeah, apparently it's a new thing. You decorate a tree for Easter. Because Easter is as big a thing as Christmas in the Christian belief system. I always prefer it, actually. I prefer Easter to Christmas. Because, well, partly because you get 4 days. You're guaranteed to get 4 days off in a row. But yeah, Easter, it's not. Easter is good because it's light and dark. It's not all fluffy. Christmas is a little bit fluffy for me.
So
But
Easter just tells her how it is. It's
yeah, Easter's a bit more nuanced. You know, a bit of light and dark, and the whole experience. You go through a range of emotions. Good Friday's not so good. Easter Sunday, yeah, it's good.
Better, things are
Yeah.
looking up. Okay, this is amazing. Welcome, new face to the table. Believe it or not, we're talking about Christmas. And is Christmas just full of fluff? Maybe, sorry, I just had some Easter eggs. I'm spitting saliva because they were tasty. And should we be kind of looking more for more of a nuance? Should we be looking to Easter as a more important holiday in Christian tradition? Because it's about the lightness, it's about the darkness. It's like real life. It's a real life roller coaster where Christmas is just like, yeah, it's all cool, you know. We discussed Christmas songs today extensively. But anyway, I'm Margot. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Kate.
Kate, welcome. We've got Moni, we've got Truden, we've got Z, we've got Ria, we've got Reem, still, yeah, right. We've got Amy, we've got Aya, of course, Aya, we've got Justin, and we've got Mohammed, we've got Mikey, we've got in cheap seats Layla, but she goes by many, many names, so we'll keep it secret. And this is Talkaoke, and this is Ricky. Sorry, what's your name?
I am Ricky, part of the ABL team.
Fantastic. And you're the resident DJ as well, just making some mental notes. Going to be switching into Christmas playlist soon. But this is where we are. We've been talking about what instruments people play. We're going to be making an anthem for Aberfeldy Street. Should it be dancey one? Should it be more reflective? You know, talking about the dark side of life and then maybe light side of life. Should it be a dance song? Should it involve playing triangle? If it does, we've got an expert in the house. And yeah, this is where we are at. We're going to swap out, I believe. But we will continue for another hour. So there's more of that, people. There's more chat, more chat. And then maybe this person will join us too. So yeah, I'll tap out, you tap in? Okay. If anybody else wants to have a go in the middle, you're welcome to. Anyone, anybody, absolutely anyone for 5 minutes or 2 seconds. Anyone. Yeah, go on. Go on, give her a round of applause. This is the world premiere. Are you going under? Oh, right. That's going to be so cool. Right, hold on to this.
It feels good to be here.
This chair is low, but it's over. So,
Has it ever happened before?
What?
Someone that's not part of the team to sit in the middle?
Oh, yeah, it happens all the time. Yeah, you
Okay, I'm part of the team now.
Okay, wait, so it's like this? Yeah. I'm just going to go, but do adjust this, like a pair of glasses.
Oh yeah, I can take them out and then put them on back
This
again.
Sorry, I'm just going to like go up.
Should I get closer?
Usually it's more smooth.
There we
but
go.
not really.
All right, perfect.
And pop that in your pocket or somewhere.
Okay,
so
I'll just put it here.
Sorry, it's not easy to be in the middle because it's a lot.
It's a lot of things.
Isn't it? To be neutral.
Okay, I cannot express, yes. I won't. Okay. So, do I have to open a debate?
Just get everyone's name and ask them.
Okay, I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna start with asking everyone for their name.
Mikey.
Mikey.
Mohammed.
Mohammed.
Justin.
Justin.
Aya.
My sister name is Aya. Aya.
Amy.
Amy.
Margot.
Margot.
Ria.
Ria.
Z.
Z.
Chudan.
Chuda.
Moni.
Moni.
Kate.
And Kate. Layla. What's your name? What's your name? Zisha. What's your name? So? Oh, Sue, sorry. And we got here. What's your name? Layla? Lilia. And Ricky. Adam. All right. Oh, sorry, Mariam. What's your name? Maria. I'm sorry. So we're here today all together. Does anyone want to add something to the conversation or give us a debate to talk about? Okay, so we was talking about the event that we're going to do in September. So it's a music event. We're gonna have some instruments playing, possibly. We're gonna have an anthem and lots of activities, I guess. Yes. Okay. So we was talking about music as well, and I remember Sue said something about her favorite artist and how she preferred the music. Sorry, how she preferred the music at the beginning of his career compared to at the end of the career.
I also sometimes think that maybe back in the day people had more to say, and now music is just a bit samey. It's just a bit like rhythmical. It's good for dancing, but in terms of like the meaning, what artist is trying to convey, it's a bit. I don't know. It's a bit simple.
Yes, that's yeah.
But also, like, younger people now are listening to music of the past. Like, we've had people on the Talkaoke table. There was one, like, 10-year-old kid that was really into the music of the Dead Kennedys. And I'm still getting over the shock that something that happened over a year ago when I asked a 7-year-old child, what's your favourite song? And he said, Take On Me. And I couldn't believe that a 7-year-old would even know this song, but it was his favourite song and he's very passionate about it. So, and I think it is, once again, it's because of social media that young people now know all the songs from the past.
Oh, that's nice. That's really interesting. So, is there any more artists that you know that they may have started making loads of music and then eventually just started making just music to sell?
Just to follow on from your point, Mikey, yes, music is widely available now, but this has had one consequence in that you don't really have kind of groups. If you remember in our time, we had punks and new romantics and people following different types of music and identifying with certain fashion and music, which you don't really have now because everyone's got everything so available. And that's not necessarily a good thing, I don't think.
Okay, so what's your opinions on that, Mai?
I think, I personally do think it's a good thing because I think we've just got much more of a perspective, so we're not just, like, excited about one particular thing. Like, so, for example, New Romantic, which is something that I kind of was vaguely aware of when I was like 6, like Duran Duran and bands like that. I could get excited about that, but it wasn't really my thing because I'm not that into it. It's very much about dressing up. And I was probably more into punk, but punk was before my time. So if there was still a kind of punk thing when I was growing up, I would have probably got more into that because I love that DIY aesthetic and the kind of putting your fingers up to society more than the new romantic, which came out when I was like 7 or something like that.
Oh, that's very interesting. Thank you for your opinion. We would love to hear you speak. We haven't heard you so much.
I don't know how to answer that question. It's on the one hand, I agree with you. Like the internet sort of killed that way of you're stuck in a small town and you couldn't access anything, and you had to just make bands, and the internet spread everything everywhere to everyone all at once, and that's almost overwhelming, isn't it? But then on the other hand, everyone's got access to stuff, but then we've stopped creating new genres of music, haven't we? Like we got to grime and trap, and we haven't really moved past that. Whereas between the 70s and the 90s, obviously there was an amazing different amount of genres of music. So
okay, interesting.
I don't know what the answer is.
I see you getting close. Is there something you'd like to? Yeah.
Yeah, I like something.
Yes.
Seeing as we're on the topic of music, I would like to give a shout out to some of the younger generation. I have a nephew and his best mate, and his best mate is his singing name is his rap name is Vision, right? And he's an Albanian rapper, right? And my nephew, they're like two brothers from different mothers, right? So at the moment they've travelled out to it's not California, somewhere in America. They've travelled out for music, yeah, for music purpose. But it is funny how things have changed, because today, as long as you got music that people can, kind of music that people like, people that rap, they're not singers, are they? They're just like technically poets, innit? It's like poetry and putting like thingies together, and it just sounds great with the background music and stuff like that. But the fact that they're able to like express and like their feelings and how, that's amazing. But one last thing I'll add to this is it's kind of funny how, not funny, but it's things that were frowned upon once upon a time. Yeah, music, like wordings and stuff like rap and stuff like that, is today widely accepted, and people are making money from it. Today, if you can sing, if you can put beats together, then you can go on to Spotify, you can go on to TikTok, and you can monetize. Yeah, so it is a good thing, and there is good and bad, I suppose, but.
Okay, so we're talking about how music has changed with the years and how it's accessible now, how easy accessible it is to everyone to have different genres. What is your thoughts?
I mean, it's an interesting point that you made about maybe there are like the number of new genres invented is just not really no new genres are being invented right now. But I also like the point about rappers being like poets. But my question is, a lot of like I really like rap and trap and drill, but I'm not too impressed by the lyrics, I have to say. And Sue mentioned earlier like the Beatles and like Yellow Submarines. Like, okay, maybe, I mean, I don't actually know like if there's a meaning behind the Yellow Submarine. Maybe somebody can tell me. But people just seem to have been singing about different things. But today seems to be like a lot of the rap, not all of it, and some of it is like quite beautiful. But a lot of it is about that kind of thing that we talked about at the beginning, which is like make money, have a flash car, and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, if I like the beat, but I hate the lyrics, like, I just feel a bit silly listening to it. You know what I mean?
So this is a very, very good point. And we're talking now about how the lyrics can influence on a song you actually like. So are we for conscious rap? Are we for beat rap? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think it goes back to what we were talking about 2 hours earlier. If we just rewind. Oh, oops, wrong button. But about 2 hours earlier, we were talking about people's definition of success. And I think the thing about the rappers rapping about like guns and women and cars, it's a very kind of juvenile identification of what is successful. But that is what I wanted to say back then is that when you're a teenage boy, that's what you think is important. So effectively, those rappers are rapping to that kind of audience. But most people, maybe not, 50 Cent, whoever, but most people get through that and they move on to something more conscious eventually. And I think that also happens with musical taste as well.
100%. It's really interesting how someone could change their opinion based on how society views you. Maybe someone wants to actually make conscious rap, but they end up just singing about cars because this is what everyone does. Yes, Kate?
Saying conscious rap, it bleeds into conspiracy that I think there's a point to of there was loads of conscious rap in the 90s, and then it went into like the Puff Daddy stuff, and the record companies might have been controlling that on purpose, and they don't sign the artists who make conscious rap, they sign the artists that make the hardcore stuff because they want to make money, and they don't want people to be politically conscious, they don't want people to wake up. And they want like that route in America of going straight to prison and normalizing that life, and they do that through hardcore rap. And you can say it's a conspiracy, but I think there's a point that they have done that on purpose, like, and all those conscious rappers and all those poets, they're not signing them because they don't want us to wake up in that way, and they want us just to reflect capitalism, and that's what it's really doing, isn't it? They're like hardcore free market capitalists.
That's very interesting. That is actually super interesting. Yes, Mike.
I think someone like Taylor Swift has got a lot of power because, you know, she can influence a young generation. People, what's your name again? Like people like Rhea will really listen to whatever Taylor Swift says. And I think by and large, Taylor Swift has got a good message, but she's also got a very, you know, her message is also about making lots of money and being very uber successful, flying around in a private jet.
Yes, it's very interesting how we find loads of industry plants or whatever they call it, where maybe they're not making so conscious music, but more something to sell an idea, like Kate was saying, and also Mike said earlier. Yes, Mike.
I think it's a really interesting point, and I just wonder about the music they will make for the street. Like, should it have a message, or should it be just like a feel-good thing? I mean, and should we be getting vision, right? Should we get a vision to help us with the beats, just to kind of, you know, make it sound really, really good? Could we kind of trick the industry by putting out something that's, you know, these kids, I can't remember, they're from some kind of primary school in Ireland. They went on the radio, local radio station, and they dropped some, what was the genre? It was kind of like a rap. And these kids went viral, and they were brilliant. They did it with the school teachers, so big up the school teachers. We've got two at the table. But they just kind of did it for fun, and the beat was, yeah, it's just a really great song. So maybe we could do something like that.
That's really interesting. So here's a question. Do you think the beat has a part to play, or is it only the lyrics? We'd love to hear.
Sorry, repeat.
Do you think the beat, as in the instrumental of a rap song or a song in general, do you think it has a part to play on how it affects you, maybe your body or your mind? Or is it only the lyrics that might, or the rhythm that gets in your head?
It's a bit of both, really.
I'm coming to you just one second.
Bit of both.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay, what makes it a bit of both? Like, how would it affect you?
Depends on your mood, what you're listening to. You can listen to a sad song, and even if you're happy, you can go down. If you're really down and you get good beat, it's just like you want to pick yourself up.
So it actually does affect your body somehow. Okay, yes.
Taylor Swift just
You can
sings
hold it,
about
please.
her ex-boyfriends, and she makes loads of money by singing about her ex-boyfriends. It's not a very good message, is it? Like, she never stands up for anyone but herself, and she just sings like, I don't know. You could do something more, couldn't you?
Okay, so what else could Taylor Swift, since she has so much influence, sing about? Ria, what kind of music would you like to hear from her, or message? Besides the dance, of course.
I would like to hear her sing about like why she loves music.
About herself and her career? Yeah, that would be very interesting. What about you, Aya?
I would like to ask her, do you like dancing?
Sorry?
I would like to ask her why do you like dancing?
Why she likes to dance. So you would like to hear a song of Taylor Swift about why she likes to dance? Very interesting. Do you have something to say? You've been a bit quiet lately. I would love to hear your opinion.
I hear what you're saying, Kate. It's a fairly anodyne message. It's pretty much the same each time. But it is joyous, and she is a role model to generations of young people, particularly young girls.
Go ahead.
No, but going back to, you know, reminiscing of the music of the past, you had songs like Enola Gay, which was about the bombing of Hiroshima, and it was about some pretty serious stuff. I mean, it was a good melody as well. But, you know, people in that time got into serious political topics, and I just feel like, you know, although I hadn't really thought about it before, you know, in a way it doesn't really make sense for big media corporations to kind of sell this kind of music where it's actually got a little bit of a political edge to it. In a way, it's quite, yeah. I don't know if it's a conspiracy, but obviously it's bad for business in the long term, isn't it?
It might not sell as much as a song about your ex, where you might be thinking, oh, I have an ex as well, instead of be thinking, oh, yeah. We would love to know your name.
I'm Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I missed the question. I'm good, thank you.
So we were talking about how music affects us, how it affects our body, how the lyrics affects us, and how the beats affect us. Do you think it's only a lyrics thing, or maybe as a combination of both?
I think it's a combination.
What would you say?
I'm a huge Sting fan, and I think he's one of the best poets there is, but he's a songwriter. And we had a really good, when Talkaoke did a pop-up at the pub, I recounted a tale about Sting when I met him, so I think it goes beyond the lyrics. Yeah.
Okay, so what's your favorite song or singer at the moment that you would like to share with us?
At the moment, I'm listening to a lot of Dave Matthews Band. And I love Ants Marching, and it's about basically getting out of the rat race, which we all dream about very often. So I think it goes beyond the lyrics, you know, which is why I buy my lottery tickets so that I can retire my boss, isn't it? Yeah.
That's amazing. Really nice to have you here today. But we would love to hear your opinion.
Sorry.
So what's your opinion on the music nowadays, how it affects us, how the lyrics may make us feel? She was just mentioning now how her favorite song makes her feel a certain way.
Okay, I want to talk about music effect politics. Yes, my university is China Conservatory of Music, and in my school, some music we have some concert.
A concert?
Yes, a concert is to how to say
political.
Yes, we can have some song to.
Sorry, I was just thinking, was it karaoke you was thinking? Because there is a lot of karaoke in China when I was out there, where you got the mic and you can sing, and they got it on the screen.
Oh, yes, sir.
Anyone can sing. You know, karaoke, a lot of bars, a lot of hotels and stuff. When I visited China, there was a lot of karaoke. A lot of Chinese people after work, they like to go and sing. You know, they like to sing karaoke. So I was wondering if that was what you was trying to say, or sorry.
So is it karaoke, or is it that in the university maybe you guys create your own songs on a political way?
See. Right, so Dandan went to the Chinese Conservatory of Music, one of the best music schools in China. Can we get round of applause?
So this is a very important.
But I guess she didn't quite like how students in her university sometimes gets used for political celebrations, as they have to perform for high-profile speakers and so on. They have to do a lot of rehearsals and other stuff.
That's very interesting. Now we could open a debate and ask if you guys could write your own song, what would it be about? Let's start with you, because I saw you. I would also like to hear your opinion, because I saw you.
Yeah, I think this links to what I was going to say, because I wanted to find out whether we should form a band, or should we just get somebody who'll be like the front woman or front man of the Aberfeldy music project, whatever that is, and maybe people want to perform, I don't know. But yeah, I just wonder, what would I want to say about, I make a performance, and I guess I'm kind of saying some things that I want to say in a style of theatre rather than music. But maybe I would say something about, yeah, people personal freedom and kind of maybe breaking out of a rat race, which is basically just copy paste what Judy said. But I think it's a powerful message because that means different things to different people. But yeah, something about freedom, I would like to say.
That's really interesting. What about you?
I'll come back.
You'll come back. Okay, what about you? What if you could write a song or maybe sing a song, what would it be about?
My life.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, what would you say?
I would say I want everything pink.
You want everything pink? Oh, that's beautiful. That's really nice. What about you?
Well, we were talking earlier about the beat and the lyrics, and what's interesting is that with pop music, the lyrics, I mean, it's more about the melody, but when you go to something like musical theatre, it's a different style because you have to follow the lyrics because the lyrics carry the story and the narrative. And what's interesting is that quite a few pop stars kind of graduate to musical theatre. Like, for example, one of the Spice Girls, Mel C, who actually had the best voice in the Spice Girls. She then went on to have a career in musical theatre. She was in Blood Brothers for ages. It's a more evolved style where the lyrics do become important as they carry the story.
Yes, I completely agree. I like that response. Okay, so Mohammed, if you could write a song, what would it be about? Or if you could sing a song, what would it be your song about?
Well, I'm not really a singer, and I don't really want to be political about things, but I have heard a lot of like songs recently, and it's not just lyrics; it's also the beats or the music behind it. But if I was to be able to choose or have something, it would be about life and how, like this young lady said, but about what's going on in the world, only to educate the younger generation. And there's so much of it at the moment that we're taking in, with these songs or these songs with like Free Palestine or about the countries and about how things are going. It's not just the lyrics; it's also the beats. They got very good beats.
I was going to ask, what kind of instrumental would you put to your song? Would it be a rap song? Would it be a singing song? Maybe a melodic to dance?
I do like the piano. I like piano. I like classical kind of instruments. But yeah, also I'd like to add was like we were talking about Taylor Swift, right? And how she sings about breaking up with other men and or her boyfriends and stuff like that. But it's crazy because I don't want to be. I don't. It's just what's in my head, right? Yeah, and it's not about religion or anything. But there's a lady out there. I'm sure you've heard of her. She's an American pop star, and now she sings Islamic nasheeds, and so angelic her voice because she was already a singer and she had a voice. I'm not sure Gail something or something. I'm not sure what her name is. But she's converted recently. She used to be a pop star. Sorry.
She converted to Islam?
I think she was Christian and she converted to Islam, but she was a pop star that now sings nasheeds, yeah, and is so angelic, her voice and stuff like that. So there is remember, so she's doing that. She's got so much to sing about. We're talking about just breaking up. Like she's now singing or talking like about the whole Quran, and it's amazing, her voice, listening, the music and stuff like that. But I believe that music is something that can, like, it does, it can make people make. I'm very bad at articulating myself.
I think we all understand it.
But yeah, it can make people like. I don't know how to describe
Feel
it.
a type of way about their music.
I mean, it makes people like, some people, with like street music and rap and grime and stuff like that. Not everyone can relate to that or would say I like that, yeah. But then you got young people that that's what they want, and they want to sing like that and be able to rap like that, and let it be violence, let it be whatever it is, it's like you can't relate to it all, but it's I'll come back because the words, I just can't get the words out.
It's It's all good. Very interesting. With also, like, have you got an opinion on what he said, or you want to share your song?
I do. It's kind of related, but I actually write my own poetry.
Oh wow! So we
And
have
I
a
have,
poet in the house.
I have written a song that's about Palestine, but from the perspective of somebody living in Hackney.
Can I have a question?
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing with us a bit of your poetry, of what you wrote? Maybe
Yeah,
just
I mean, I wasn't gonna. I mean, the most recent one I've written is about my microwave, but it's up to you.
Yes, please.
But whatever people want to hear, the one about the microwave or the one about Palestine. It's up
Whatever
to-
one you feel. Yeah, the one you feel more comfortable sharing with us.
This one's just more recent, so it is about the microwave, but it's also more. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I'm very curious about
All
the
right,
microwave
okay.
one.
I'll just quickly. I'll give you this one then quickly.
While you look for it, let me just
No,
introduce
I've got
the
it.
new person.
Got it. But yeah.
All right. Hello, what's your name and how are you today?
Hi, I'm Josh. I've just got off a plane from Ireland, and I better late than never. I wanted to come and see what this is all about.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for making it. So, do you live in Ireland and you come here, or? Oh, interesting. All right. Welcome here to speak with us as well. Yes, we're really excited to hear the microwave poem.
It goes like this. It's called E205W. You have to clean the body when it dies, even though it's next week's landfill. My microwave's final ding proclaimed a piping hot jacket smothered in chana masala. But the oat milk remained cold in the cup, and the anticipated skinny latte turned Americano. Silence. My sponge attacks history from the now backwards. First at a splatter of aubergine dole with char-grilled padron peppers, revealing splodges of reheated spaghetti bolognese over the shockwaves of exploded spicy tomato lentil soup that gave scant solace back then when Putin hit Ukraine. The sludgery from the drudgery of repetitive layers of carrot and coriander with turmeric covering COVID's furlough sourdough on top of fragments of a Brexit baguette, depressed, overheated, soggy and sorry. Scraping away the strata of my revolving culinary sophistry all the way back to the basic bubbling baked beans when BBC News said Diana and Dodie are dead. Even before that pivotal day, those innocent minutes spent contravening mum's advice, nose to the window, lazily gazing at a menu master's steady pirouettes towards readiness in its pristine white cell, back in the 90s when time seemed endless. Perhaps it was a Finder's crispy pancake filled with cheese, which underscored the Twin Towers' fall. I can't truly recall. Yet as the new world order realigned, I knew I could rely on my Panasonic E205. Forever turning, rarely burning, never returning from Hornsey Road Recycling Centre. To join my beloved coffee machine, kettle, fridge and toaster, you outlive them all. De Longhi, Zanussi, Rowenta, Indesit, in Pace.
Wow. That was beautiful. I have one little question for you, if you don't mind. Is the microwave a metaphor or analogy for anything that represents your life? Or is it actually the microwave?
It's kind of about my life. It is my life. It's kind of like all the stains and splodges and splatters are actually like the record of my life as well. So it's kind of about that journey through history from a very blank sheet that as Justin would say, the tabula rasa of the clean microwave all the way through to the dirty microwave that's had lots of experiences.
Sounds like you are the microwave and all these things pass around you, doesn't it? Okay, so guys, I'm gonna have to leave you, but I would love for Josh, sorry, to know the names of everyone. So please let's do that again. So today we're here with Josh
Hi, I'm Josh.
and
Ria.
and
Z.
Z. You can pass it to Shuta.
Kate.
Mikey.
Mohammed.
Justin.
Aya.
Amy.
Margot.
Really nice to have you here today, guys. The session is not over, but I'm gonna have to leave you. Maybe we can swap. Get the microwave. Now the
Let's
microwave.
give him a massive round of applause.
Massive round of applause for Reem for first time in the middle. She's been to many Talkaokes, but finally she made it to the middle. So welcome, welcome. Yes. Okay, yeah, thank you. Thanks for, oh yeah,
Final thought. Thanks for making time. Coming from the airport. Take care. And you did a good job.
well done. Cheers, Julie. Take care. See you later. You've got my number. Yeah. Drop me a line. Okay.
Okay, I'm wondering if that was Reem's way of getting me to stop doing my poetry.
Yeah, it's
because
possible.
in the middle you can't actually give your own thoughts, opinions.
Well, as you are now in the middle, I just wanted to say you wouldn't put a sourdough bread in a microwave, would you? Not really. Oh no, maybe you would.
Okay, all right.
I just wanted to say you're a really posh microwave eater, because all I put in my microwave is jacket potatoes to make it fast.
Yeah.
But you're like carrot, coriander, sour, all this shit
but
was
that-
like,
that took
wow.
Time. That took time to develop.
I'm impressed.
I
I'm
started
impressed.
with just baked beans. And anyway, yeah, it developed over the years.
And I guess from a poetic and a quite literal way, we're made of what we eat. So I really like the idea that the stains in the microwave are also part of you.
Yeah. That's definitely the case. I'm going to hit you with a yes with that.
Mohammed, are you off? Okay, all right. Okay, yep.
Oh no, I just wanted to maybe say it when he was there, because he was talking about rap and what people were rapping about, and my boyfriend is Iranian, and recently, I mean, he always like sends me like people playing lyrical music on different instruments, and it's all really beautiful. And Farsi is such a poetic language. But I recently found some Persian rap, and I really like rap. Obviously, I don't know line by line what they're singing about.
What is it about rap that you like?
I like the beat. I like how just the rhythm of it as well. And I think it just really, I think it's okay to tap into maybe negative emotions or like, I don't want to say aggression, but I think aggression is just part of life. And sometimes you can be a peaceful person, but it's enjoyable to be able to kind of like act out some kind of behavior. And I think rap does it really well. Everybody can act out being a gangster, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or someone who's like quick-witted with the words. But what I wanted to say is, I found this really good track, I really like it, and I asked him to translate it line by line what it means, and he said, this is pure filth. I'm not going to obviously say what it's about, but it's about people, you know, making out and doing lines and all that kind of stuff. And he said,
Did they get told off at school?
Did they get, yeah, they got, yeah, trust me.
Yeah.
But then we had a whole conversation about rap in Iran, and there's a lot of artists who obviously migrated, and they're rapping about the regime, and because obviously political situation in Iran is such that it's quite dictatorial. But then some rappers actually stayed in the country, and they make those music videos, they make the music, which is kind of like Western, and yeah, it's about all those things, and they get arrested over and over again. And it just made me think of, you know, whilst rappers maybe in the West, sometimes they generate their own drama. Like Reem was saying at the beginning of today, sometimes you get into criminality, you don't even have to, but you just kind of do it because people do it, it's cool. And there people really mean something when they rap about things which you shouldn't talk about out loud. So they're really putting something on the line. And yeah, it may just sound like somebody doing lines or whatever, but in that context, it's really subversive.
Okay, so we're talking about music, we're talking about subversiveness. Do you know what subversive means?
No.
What does subversive mean?
Subversive is like, it's kind of going against something that people want you to do.
Yeah.
So for instance, if I say to you, hey Ria, from now on, every day you have to wear green. You can't wear any other color. So a subversive thing that you can do is you can come and be wearing pink and say, oh, sorry, I just, yeah, I forgot, or I didn't know, or yeah, I'm wearing green, and that's
Yeah.
subversive.
How do you feel if everybody wore pink?
Happy.
You'd be happy if everyone wore pink. Okay, what about green?
Mad.
Okay, maybe not. Okay, yeah.
If everyone wore pink, I would just feel mad at them, and I told them to change to like a color green because
Yeah.
my favorite color is green.
Okay, so you actually like green. You're more of a pink. Should we be like? Should somebody else decide what colour we wear? Should we decide it ourselves? Any thoughts on this side, Layla? We're talking about. I mean, we're talking about music. Should music actually go against the grain? So should it sort of break the rules? So Margot was saying if she was talking about subversive music, but Ria, you just asked what the subversive means. It could mean wearing pink when you're supposed to wear green. That all rhymes as well. Anyway, but that's where we are. It's like, should music be subversive? Should it go against the grain? Kate, have you got any views on this?
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Yes, that's
Is there
very much-
subversive music going on in China that is political, that goes against whatever the norm is? Is there a scene, a culture for that? Like, tell me about the Chinese rap scene. Does it exist? Is it good?
Is there a Chinese rap scene? Is there a subversive music in China?
So I guess I can respond to that with a story. I'm sure subversive music gets created all the time, but if they don't go all viral, it goes just unnoticed and it fades out. Every now and then, I'm sure it does pop up, then censorship happens, and then suddenly it's erased from the internet. But I guess one story I would like to share, there used to be a quite popular Chinese rockish song called The Unkillable Harbingers. Harbing's northern country in China. There used to be huge steel plants there, and I guess 30 years ago they had to shut down the steel plants because it was causing pollution, or just suddenly overnight the country and regime doesn't want the overproduction of steel anymore. That caused huge unemployment in the whole city, and then, well, you can imagine for the next decade or two, people just lived in really poor conditions. Okay, so there was a song capturing that experience during that period, and bring this up because in the recent year, this song got censored, and now all the lyrics changed, and I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to play the original version anymore.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
That's really interesting to hear that. Yeah, Josh.
That's really, can I just follow up on that, which is, so is it that when a song becomes popular, then the government notice, so you'll become a victim of your own success, and then you get censored? And if you, to really remain subversive, you have to actually be kind of quite niche and small audience.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
I guess also to be successful is to make a blowout. I guess you can't win against the system, right? They will eventually snub you down, but then you just come up with the next one. That maybe that's another way to win.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
I mean, this sounds very interesting to me. I mean, I'm Polish, but we were a communist country for some period of time, and I remember listening to it was like a radio show about censorship, and they were actually talking about a Russian poet called I can't remember her first name, but Akhmatova is her surname. And apparently, back in those like 1900s, when she was writing her poetry was considered so subversive and so controversial that she couldn't even afford to like write her poetry down. So when people used to like get together in somebody's house, just kind of, it's a party, but actually they knew they're going to be exchanging poems and singing songs. She had to memorize all of her poetry, and so did others. So if they get caught or police comes in, no one can say, aha, this is your poem, and you know. So that's crazy, and that's how she wrote her poetry. She was memorizing it.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Okay, so we're talking about subversiveness, and we're talking about having to memorize what your poem is.
Could I ask another? So when those steel factories shut down, did that lead to a flourishing of creativity? Because we had a thing here in like Birmingham, Liverpool, and Manchester where the same thing happened, and also Chicago and Detroit in America. And when all those cars and steel and huge industries shut down, then there was a massive surge of musical and art
creativity.
Can you give us an example of one of the people that came out of that?
All the bands out of Manchester and Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath, they say their noises were inspired by the sound of the factories, literally, and that's where that sound came from. Then you could talk about the Manchester scene in the 90s and Stone Roses, Happy Mondays. It's just so many more like the rock type, but so then it goes into rave.
It's actually that kind of hardship that led to that flourishing of creativity.
And Chicago and Detroit, all the house music, they invented disco, house, like all those things, isn't it? Do you think that happened there?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I was going to add to that, which is in Detroit, isn't it? It became kind of subversive to live in the centre, and all the wealthy people started moving out, didn't they?
Yeah.
And the centre became like a no-go zone for like sort of creatives, maybe.
Okay, so then it became a space, an empty space that creative people could move into. Is there a connection in China as well between hardship and creativity?
Not to my memory, at least. I don't recollect anything amazing artistically popping up after the closure of the factories. I think all people remember is just the hardship going from having a stable job, everyone being employed, to suddenly no employment in the city for a long time. So, afraid not. Can't give a positive note.
All right. I mean, what about in other cases? We're talking about hardship and creativity.
I mean, I just wonder, just because in thinking about this music piece that we're going to be creating, are there any events in this area or areas that people come from that had impact that we could, which are relevant?
Because you mentioned Iron Maiden, but I don't know if you were here when we were talking about Iron Maiden.
Okay, so Iron Maiden will have. So next year is the 50th anniversary of Iron Maiden playing their very first gig down in a church just in the street. So it's really funny that you mentioned that. So we just thought we will maybe just see if we can create some kind of a music piece just to honor that. It doesn't have to be in style of Iron Maiden, but this conversation about different genres and what music can convey in like even different styles in Bollywood or whatever, like, you know, maybe it's an EP, I don't know, maybe it's a few songs,
maybe an album even.
An album, but I'm just interested in, you know, what would we be singing about? Is there anything relevant to this area that people can relate to?
Do we focus on things like, as you mentioned, hardship, or do we focus on things that you mentioned, which is dancing and wearing pink? What do we actually, or do we try and focus on both of those things? Somehow overcoming the hardship by dancing and wearing pink. I don't know. Have you got a final thought for us, Sue, or Lilia? Have you got a final thought?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're talking about music. What is the Aberfeldy anthem gonna be? That's the big question on the table.
The young boys these days, they'll do their own little
Yeah.
rapping for you. So
What do you think they'll rap about?
their life, about life crime, gun crime. I mean, that's what you need. Something about life around here. There's always a lot of gun crimes and knife crimes around here. Always. No, I don't want to.
But it's good what you're saying. It doesn't have to be on camera, but yeah, just keep saying what you're saying.
Young boys are going around killing each other.
I mean, do you think the music's got a part to play in that? Is it actually encouraging people to get into this criminal lifestyle?
There's nothing grandier for anyone, okay? Our kids.
Yeah.
Our kids are growing up. This the new generation. Okay, we've got babies growing up, young kids. There's nothing here for them. There's nothing, no parks. They say they want to build all this new stuff. Where is it?
So there's been many more new. What new things do you think what would be the first thing that you would build if you were the builder?
If I was a builder, I would build like new parks.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know, more youth centres around here.
Yeah.
You know, like you've got the big green grass down there with a little bit of sand.
Yeah.
They put their dogs there. You know, back in my days, I used to take my big ones. Now they're all grown up, little when they were little. We used to go down there. They used to find needles and from people going in there, needles and glass. We don't need that for the kids picking up needles and. But then, yeah, if I was a builder, I would put youth centres for the young kids, teenage kids. So they're going. I know Spotlight, yeah, but who wants to go all the way to Spotlight? They should have one round here.
Okay.
A new Spotlight.
Yeah.
for after school for the
Yeah.
teenagers, you know?
Yeah. We're going to hit that with a round of applause. Yep, that's a question. Yeah.
Um, I don't live in this. I don't live in this area, and when I come here, I am exploring a little bit, and I came past what I thought was a really nice park. I walk here from Canary Wharf,
Yeah.
and I think it's called Poplar Recreation Ground, and there's a lovely children's park there with loads of exciting stuff. I was having to go on the swings, and it was really lovely.
So
but it's a little bit further down.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
With the trampolines and the
and there's stuff, and it was really lovely.
Okay, so it's starting.
But
to
it's
happen.
a little bit further down. I only saw it because I walked from that, which is about a 20-minute walk.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so those things are starting to happen. We got some questions. Mohammed, you've come back. Anything you want? We were asking a question about what should the anthem of Aberfeldy be? Should it be, because there was a point from Kate, which is, and it also comes from the experience of like, there's a famous song from a particular part of China where they closed down all the steelworks, and there's a question about whether hardship itself brings creativity, like it did maybe in Manchester and Birmingham when they closed down all the industries there and a lot of bands emerged. But should we, in our Aberfeldy anthem, be talking about hardship, or should we be talking about the positive vision, or maybe both? That's really where we are right now.
Well, off the top of my head, I can't remember the lyrics, but I do know, there was UB40, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure it was UB40 where they were on benefits.
Yeah.
And they went to the benefits office.
Yeah.
The band, they got together through just being
at the
on the
job
dole.
centre, yeah.
And I think the benefit form was called UB40, I think, yeah? Something along those lines. And that's how the band, and it's inspiration, isn't it? And then the kind of music and the beats and behind their lyrics was just amazing, you know? There was just a whole era, because like UB40 was not long, but before my generation. But even my generation, when we came, the lyrics, the beats, it was just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, that's a great example of how hardship creates some creativity. Yeah.
I don't know if it's true, but apparently you know the girl band All Saints. Does anybody? Yeah. Okay. You remember? Okay. You remember?
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah. Okay. So is this true that they are from around here, from All Saints, where the DLR All Saints station is? Somebody told me.
Yeah.
Oh.
They were named after All Saints Road in Notting Hill. Sorry to disappoint you, Margot.
Okay, well, it's another All Saints, though, isn't it?
I feel like we should go with you, though.
Yeah, let's just work with a. Yeah, we're blind to West London. We've never heard of it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we've got Aya, we've got Amy, we have got Margot, we've got Josh, we have got Ria, we have got Ji, we've got Truden, we've got Mohammed, we have got Kate, and we've got Layla. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, no, I'm just joking. That's and we've got Justin from West London. Hello, welcome. So we're, sorry, I didn't mean to diss you when you're West Londoners, but All Saints are clearly from All Saints DLR. Anyway, fake news here. We've got some new faces at the table, so I'll just do another quick round of names. We've got Justin, we have got Aya, we've got Amy, we have got Margot, we've got Josh, we have got Ria, we have got She, we have got Truden, we've got Mohammed, we've got Kate, we've got
Faisal.
And we've got Christine. This is Talkaoke Bar, talk show. We talked about loads of things today. It's like, what is your definition of success in life? What's your favourite? What is actually your favourite thing in life? What makes you happy? We talked about all sorts of things. We talked about hardship and creativity. What would make a good song for Aberfeldy Street or All Saints Road in West London? But that's where we are right now. Where do we want to go with this? Where do people want to take this? It could go anywhere. The whole point of Talkaoke, it's kind of up to you. Pressure's not on you two because you've only just arrived. So it's not really fair to ask you where you want to take it unless you've got something pressing. But where do you want to take this discussion? Do people like the idea maybe of the Aberfeldy anthem? Would it make you like the idea of it?
Yeah, I want to hear more about the Iron Maiden. So are you going to make a song with Iron Maiden?
Okay. Is it going to be with Iron Maiden?
Well, we just need to. Apparently, there's somebody who knows someone from Iron Maiden, and apparently that person from Iron Maiden is in. So it's definitely happening, 100%.
Yeah.
We're working on it. But the idea is to get people to create something. We've done something, maybe not exactly like that, but something similar when we were doing something in Hackney Wick. And we just went around asking people about how's life in Hackney Wick, but also about music, because there's a lot about culture and music in that area. And we were kind of like planning to make a music video, which in the end we didn't do because we didn't have the funding. But we feel like now is like we can try it again, but for Aberfeldy. So yeah, we'll see what people want to. We can do workshops on lyric writing. We're working with a musician, but not an Iron Maiden musician.
And we've got some musicians around. We just found out that True Dan is trained in the best music school in China. So, what instruments do you play again?
Piano.
Piano. Okay. So if we need a pianist, can we come to you? No pressure. Maybe. Okay. All right. I'm going to answer for you. Maybe. Okay. So, are you musicians, Christine? Have you got a favourite song?
Not off my head now.
No. Okay. Faisal?
No.
Do you listen to music?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. What's the last thing you listened to?
Arabic music.
Arabic music?
Yeah.
Any particular?
I mean the last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give us does anyone else here know Arabic music? Can you give us an example of like a famous Arabic musician?
There is a lot.
Yeah. Just give me one. Just random.
I mean, like we have Fairuz. She's a Lebanese.
Yeah.
Lady. She's a famous.
Yeah.
Maybe she sings songs maybe around 60 years ago.
Okay. And what kind of things does she sing about?
Classic.
Yeah.
Which
is what kind of subjects does she sing about?
Everything really.
Yeah.
About love.
Yeah.
About sun. About weathers.
Yeah.
About people.
Yeah.
About animal.
Yeah.
She have a lot of things.
Okay.
You only had to hear one of her songs. What should we listen to?
I don't know really.
I mean, if you just
search about Fairuz.
Yeah. If someone goes on to Spotify, how do you spell it?
Kulthum as well. She's Egyptian one. She's famous as well.
What's her name?
Kulthum.
Kulthum.
Yeah.
Okay. Margot's gonna have a look.
Amala Habibi, for example.
And what?
Just a song.
Okay.
But anyway, what I wanted to say, like for instance, about music, I started doing a massage therapy course, so I do a lot of massages, and it's funny how it took me ages to settle on a good kind of relaxing playlist, and I realized the spa music just drives me crazy. I can't listen to it for too long.
What kind of music?
Just like kind of elevator music, like I don't know, just kind of like just really non-specific music. Yeah, and I thought it's gonna make me feel relaxed. And I think if you are on the bed being massaged, maybe it's relaxing for you. But if I'm massaging 5 people in a day, then after a while I just can't listen to it anymore. I just go, wild. So definitely I would like to make a song that is stressing me out. People are relaxed, but not me. So if I was to make music, it wouldn't be relaxing music. It would be like with an edge, upbeat.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, her voice is very relaxing. If you do it, or Kulthum, she's Egyptian as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you need me, just to open you for you little.
Oh, have you got it there? Have you got it playing?
Yeah, just I write her name, one of the.
No, we can maybe if we put the microphone to the.
What has 2 toppings and
no,
serves
this
2
is an advert for Domino's Pizza. But I'm gonna hit skip. Oops, I hit the wrong button there. Okay. Oops, what have I done? Oh, I just closed them. No. Oh, anyway, we've got an idea, but Oh, sorry.
My hips started going.
That sounded good, but I don't know. I'm terrible with phones. You just touch them and they do something. Do you know what I mean?
No, but just because.
From a microwave.
Yeah, exactly. A microwave is more my kind of technology. Exactly. Let me just hit the.
Yeah, that's right, microwave. No, but I was just wondering, just because we're going to be wrapping up in 10 minutes, and we kind of want to make these Aberfeldy stories, and I just wondered, like, we talk about music quite a lot, which I think is brilliant, but also, if people are not kind of thinking about music, are there any particular stories we should be talking about? Should we be capturing in this area, in Tower Hamlets? I'm just curious.
Do they need to be true stories, like the All Saints story, or can they be fictional?
Oh, definitely. I'm going to write a story about All Saints being not from here, but.
Yeah. Well, I need to look it up on Wikipedia because I don't trust you people from West London. What kind of stories? I mean, and do they need to be true stories? Could they be made up stories? Have you heard any good stories in this area?
No.
No, you haven't? Would you like there to be some good stories about this area?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone heard some stories from this area? I'm not going to ask you if you're from West London, but are there good stories from West London?
Well, Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix
died in West London. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's
All Saints.
Anyone from this area? And are there good stories, or is there a demand? Would you like there to be some good stories from this area?
Right, I think getting stories just about the local businesses would be really good. For example, just the PFC right there has served the community really well.
Yeah.
And we met a local dressmaker. I'm sure we'll have loads of good stories about her too. So I just thought we should recognize the people and businesses who have been serving this community for the past decade or so.
Okay, that's big up PFC, aka AV Grill. But you know that you're a regular if you're calling them PFC because. Anyway, so that's some really good points. And the dressmaker, the tailors. Any thoughts about Mohammed?
No, not quite yet.
Yeah, what's that?
No, because we'll be making podcasts as well, and I just wonder if people ever thought about doing a podcast, and what about.
Okay, any stories about this area? Either.
All I can think about is all the pirate radio stations that have been on all the tower blocks.
There was a pirate radio station?
Loads of them, in the last few decades. That's the only one that comes to my mind.
All right. Keep it locked. I've turned it up. Keep it locked to the pirate radio. We've had some calls for pirate radio as well, haven't we? People want to restart the pirate radio. Some of the oldies. So maybe there's something about that pirate. Are you from this area, Christine? Yeah. What do you think the big stories are from this area?
No idea.
No idea?
Nope.
What would you like it to be about?
It's mostly about politics.
Politics, yeah?
Yep.
I mean, like recent politics or the old politics of old?
No, it's how much they're taking away from people. That
Right, okay, so for politics of now.
Yeah.
And how do we actually make that bit more clear that how people are getting things taken away from them? That's a really.
They already have. They did a march.
Yeah.
They did a
But
march.
I mean, is it something that needs to be communicated further, maybe to like the more wealthy areas or different areas of the UK?
I think it should be taken from more wealthier areas because look around.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about the message. Should the message?
Oh, the message. Well, it should. They know what they're doing.
You think so?
Oh, of course they do.
Yeah. But do they know the effect that it's having on?
I don't think they care.
They just don't care.
No.
Okay.
I don't think the politicians care.
Yeah. You're agreeing and nodding. Do you agree?
No,
with
I don't have anything to say.
What do you think that we need to talk more about the politics, about how poorer people are getting poorer? Okay. Stay neutral on that one. Okay, so we're talking about stories, about messages.
I mean, this area has come a long way, hasn't it, with the new developments and whatnot. So, that is something to be celebrated. Because in that time, what they've done in those many years, if we look back, if we said, look, another 5 years, what's this area going to look like in another few years? Because obviously there is some of these shops are coming down, buildings are coming down, but there is positive news, positive stuff that they're going to be redeveloping, and there's going to be new communities and new people, and that is something to be celebrated. well, the money's coming from the government, coming from the taxpayers. Unfortunately, it is the way it is.
Do you feel positive about this area?
To be honest, yeah, it's completely changed. Less hassles, less, I mean, killers or something, drugs. I feel it less than 10 years ago.
Okay, so
I feel it more clean.
Okay, so
you
it's
know,
cleaner,
more quiet.
less criminal. Okay. You think
Oh
it's got worse?
People getting stabbed on the streets.
Yeah.
And nobody cares about them. Yeah. Yeah. Someone got murdered in Roman Road. That's where I live.
In what road?
Roman Road.
Roman
Someone
Road,
got stabbed
okay,
to
yeah.
death.
Okay,
And then
right.
someone come along and stabbed a dog for no reason.
Yeah.
So is that safe?
Yeah. Okay. So
And they're telling you not to go out after a certain time of night if you're a woman. So it never used to be like that when I first moved in.
Yeah.
Now you've got to keep watching behind you.
Yeah.
I don't think it's safe at all.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's everywhere, not in this area.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it's like in central London now. It's very worse. It's like Hackney before or Dalston 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Now you feel it is moving to central London. I mean, everywhere in central London is very like scary at night time, even for male or female.
Yeah.
You know, for stabbing, for
Yeah.
you know, there is many for drugs a lot. You know, this is how I feel it.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I think, I think safety is a big concern just in general, and I want to link back to what you said like some time ago about social media, and I sometimes.
There's the Queen expert with a bit of Freddie Mercury, but that was a conversation from about 2 hours ago. But you can just imagine the different subjects that we've been through. Let's get some final thoughts then, just to round this session off. Does anyone want to kick us off? Any final thoughts? We got a final thought? Yeah. Did you enjoy today's session?
Yeah.
What do you think the best thing anyone said was?
I don't know.
Was it the bit about Taylor Swift?
I don't know.
No, you don't know? Okay, any other final thoughts? Final thoughts? Final thought? Anyone got final thought? Yeah.
Pink is best.
Pink is best.
Pink
The
is
singer
best.
or the colour?
The colour.
Okay.
Pink is best.
All right, pink is the best colour. Yes, we've got that. That's one thing we can all agree on. Any final thoughts? Yeah.
Just in terms of the comedy, black comedy stuff, it makes me think of The Day Today and Brass Eye, and people just do nothing.
Yeah.
You know, pirate radio.
Okay.
You can make comedy out of these serious subjects.
Okay, so people just do nothing. Some comedy about pirate radio. Final thoughts? Any final thoughts? G, have you got any final thoughts?
It's lunchtime for Chud and I. We'll be in AB Grill shortly.
Okay, so you're going to go straight to AB Grill, aka PFC. What are you going to order?
Oh, a fried chicken wrap as always.
Okay,
Highly
as
recommend
always. Okay. Okay, yeah.
People should sing more. They used to sing a lot in Victorian times. You had music hall, and then in the wars, people had wartime songs that they sang. And recently, it is picking up, and people are like with The Greatest Showman and High School Musical and stuff. So yeah, sing more. Let it out. Let the people sing.
In the case of All Saints from All Saints Road in West London. So anyway. And anyway, any final thoughts, Mohammed? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, it was great to come and see and meet everybody, and I'm looking forward to, when is it? Wednesday the 30th of April. So, yeah, hoping to collaborate and do something. So, yeah.
Well, it's
Thank
great,
you,
it's great to see you here. I'm going to hit you with a round of applause. Any final thoughts? Final thoughts?
Maybe a boring one.
Boring banter.
This ain't actually boring. This session's been fantastic, and thanks for all people that have partake. The boring bit is, please can you sign in before you leave? Thank you.
All right, okay.
Thank you.
Final thought, Kate? You got
Oh no, I got signed.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe we should do our own choir with the different languages that we all speak, and just do a little sing song.
Do a sing
Or
song.
just a little one-liner.
Okay,
and
one
do
line
it
in each language.
Yeah, and have it as like our Aberfeldy choir.
Any final thoughts, Layla?
I'm so amazed that
Grab the mic.
this
'cause
whole
I think it's all right.
this whole session has been very amazing, and I'm surprised my kids are actually sitting there, like, you know, they just enjoying this.
Yeah.
Normally they would like, no, they've been bored, and you know, normally at home they're like, mommy, what do we do? What do we do? But I'm so amazed that they are actually, you know, listening and concentrating. Yeah,
Some really good
yeah.
points.
I'm amazed that young kids actually like these things, you know. So we should maybe do something more often.
Let's definitely subscribe to that. Any final thoughts? So we're going to hit the theme tune.
Yeah, just really thank you to everybody who came today. And as I said, we are doing a next event on 30th of April at 6 p.m. This is definitely on Wednesday, not Thursday, so we don't conflict with the Mind Cafe, which is always on Thursdays. Yeah, but everybody's welcome to join. And also, if you would like to get involved in the projects, just let us know. We don't have like a program of set events yet.
I mean, we're actually just
but
listening
we are
to
just,
people
yeah.
to find out what that program is going to be.
But if you've got ideas for a choir or maybe something political or anything, or even just some experiences that you want to share, we can do something creative with that, or podcast ideas. Just come and talk to us. And yeah, and just once again, thank you to Aberfeldy Big Local for having us. Yay!